To the freeway, still a bit of a struggle on 2100 North in Lehigh heading east toward I-15. Where will summer take you? With UTA's rider's license, kids ages 6 to 18 ride all summer for just $49. Get yours today on the Transit app or at rideuta.com.
Today we'll get up to 97 degrees. We do have about a 40% chance of a shower this afternoon. We might see some thunder and lightning. That chance continues into tomorrow morning, 92 for a high tomorrow. Right now it's 88 degrees downtown.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
9 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour. Wildfires are still burning across the state, but crews are making some progress. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla reports.
Utah Fire Info says the Dutchman fire is finally fully contained. It's the one that broke out near Saratoga Springs Monday night. Crews will stay on scene for another few days just to make sure things are fully out. And the Cottonwood fire in Beaver has exploded, now reaching 31,000 acres. It's not contained at all. Some evacuations are in place, and a closure order for the area is in place. Crews are making progress on the Bonneville fire above the University of Utah. That's now about 84% contained. As of last update, the Iron Fire near Eureka is 37,000 acres and 17% contained. Crews were busy throughout the night, burning out areas around power lines, hoping to reduce the amount of vegetation or fuel for the fire. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
Our top national story this hour from ABC News. Microsoft founder Bill Gates says Jeffrey Epstein tried to blackmail him. The statements are part of a newly released transcript by the House investigation into Epstein.
Gates acknowledged he had 3 extramarital affairs, and when Epstein learned about 2 of them from a mutual acquaintance, he said Epstein began working to use information about my infidelities. The committee asked Gates about photos from the Epstein files showing him with women. Gates responded he did not know them. He said Epstein asked me to take a photo with one of his assistants, which I did.
ABC News Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katersky reporting. Your money at this moment, the Dow is above 52,000. We're up 433 points. That's 0.8%. Now at 52,098, and oil is below $70 a barrel. Coming up hot and smoky today. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 9:02.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
This year, Utahns are celebrating the 250th anniversary of our country, Utah style. Everything from Utah's red rock deserts and blue skies to our snowy peaks and canyons are worth celebrating. As America marks this historic anniversary, we invite you to honor the stories that ground us, the history of the people who came before us, and the places that shape us. Celebrating with Utah style means looking out for your neighbors, sharing a meal, working hard, dreaming, innovating, and finding connections with the people who make Utah, Utah. It's our land, our communities. It's our way of showing up for something bigger than ourselves. So raise a glass or a dirty soda and join us in celebrating our place in the American story. Find ways to celebrate and commemorate with your community this summer at america250.utah.gov.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Do you spend half your day walking or standing while working? If you have foot, knee, or back problems, the Good Feet store wants to help you like we helped Tony.
Pain that I experience the most is foot pain from being on my feet all day. You're having to kind of talk to yourself through the whole shift, like, I got this, I can do this. Before, I felt defeated, and now it's like, all right, let's go. I'm ready. A whole new life, like sunshine coming on.
And how about working more comfortably, like Dennis?
Working at an amusement park, it's always on your feet. I just couldn't take it, but I didn't have a choice. I just couldn't believe that putting these arch supports in made that much of a difference that quickly. I could do my job and I could take care of my family. I know what my tomorrow's gonna be. It's gonna be positive.
You deserve a better life too. Stop in the Good Feet store today. We have locations in Farmington, Riverton, and Sandy.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
This is Colin Keary from the New Millennium Group. Have you ever had a question for your financial advisor only to find out that the next available appointment is months away? At New Millennium Group, we believe that financial advice should never be limited to once-a-year review meetings. Life happens every single day. Markets change, retirement questions come up, family situations evolve, and when they do, you deserve answers. That's why we pride ourselves at the New Millennium Group on being accessible when our clients need us most. Whether you're wondering about your investments or a major life decision, our team is here to help provide guidance. We're not interested in being the firm you hear from once a year. We want to be your trusted resource throughout your entire retirement journey. If you're looking for a financial team that values relationships, communication, and responsiveness, we'd love to meet you. Give us a call today at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or visit us at utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. You deserve to love where you bank. And here's Cormac Bone.
The accidents and issues we had in Davis County and Salt Lake County on our roads have all cleared out, so it's just some light and residual delays left over. Northbound I-15 is the heaviest. Then it starts from 4500 south and reaches up to 13th south. South 15 just a little slow from Warm Springs Road down to 600 north. I-15 both directions a little heavy at 7200 south in Midvale and near Bangerter Highway in the point of the mountain. A little bit of bogged down traffic there as well. Eastbound I-80, it's just that right lane from Kimball Junction to the US 40 turnoff. Use Superior Water and Air for all your HVAC and water treatment needs. Call 974-9090 or visit superiorwaterandair.com. Superior Water and Air. We got this. Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
97 the high for today in Salt Lake City. The smoke should stick around for most of the day, and there's even a chance of scattered thunderstorms this afternoon. Right now, smoky skies and 88 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio. Your voice, your vote 2026.
Well, we were here into the evening last night after 9 o'clock. We got the early results coming out right after 8 o'clock when the polls closed. A lot of the county clerks were right on top of it. And I'll tell you, a little bit of an upheaval in Utah's primary election. Several state and county leaders appear to have lost.
And, we were pretty much expecting the results that we saw in the congressional races. But I was surprised by the spread in some of the races, like the Celeste Malloy race, really, really big win.
Oh, I was surprised by Ben McAdams' win. We want to know what you think, however. Were you surprised by any of the election outcomes? Join our conversation by texting us at 57500.
Your voice, your vote. It's the morning after the primary election day. So let's talk about what we learned, Greg.
Yeah, what we learned was that it wasn't a good day for some incumbents. It wasn't a good day for people who stuck their neck out with respect to the data centers.
Yeah.
And it was a good day, I think, for moderate candidates.
Yeah.
In some races.
That's what I see as the through line is the people who were maybe more centrist, and I'm not even going to say moderate, but people who were maybe more centrist. They did really well last night overall.
Yeah, and I think Ben McAdams is a perfect example of that. And I'd like to maybe start with that one, if you don't mind, because that one surprised me only in that he did so well. Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone's surprised by his victory. We all assumed that was going to occur. What we didn't assume was that he was going to get a majority of the vote. He ended up, right now he's at 56%. He was up to about 60 when we left last night. 56 is still pretty high because it outpaces the entire field combined.
That's right.
The next highest is Nate Bluen at 25%.
Yeah, that's right.
Less than half of his numbers. I expected Ben McAdams to win in the 30s or 40s. I honestly did. But I was relying foolishly, looking back, on Nate Bluen's polling, which showed that there could be...
if everybody combined.
Right, if everybody got together, you could beat Ben. That wasn't going to happen. There was no way that was going to happen. And I would also say this. Ben McAdams is clearly the most centrist of the group. The others are seen as a little bit more progressive, maybe a lot more progressive, all three of them. and they didn't do as well as people would have thought. I thought Bluin would have been much closer to Ben McAdams. He wasn't at all. And even if he'd been able to convince Mohammed and Farrell to jump out of the race, he would have still lost by double digits.
Yeah, that's right. So one of the things that's interesting to me, too, is looking at some of the other state legislative races. Well, I mean, before I get there, let's stay with the congressional races. So the Blake Moore, Carrie Ann Lisenby race, that is a 60-40, although Blake is a little bit under 60 and Carrie Ann's a little more than 40% in that race. And then the Celeste Malloy, Phil Lyman race, they called that race, the AP called that race really early on because she is at like 67%. No, is that right? Yeah, it's almost 70. It's almost 70-30. Right. Yeah, in her race, she has 67.4% as of the last vote update, which was 11:30 last night, and Phil Lyman has 32%. So in that race, if you remember last time when she ran, so she got in a special election, and then she immediately had to run in a regular election. And she won her last race 2 years ago by 200 votes.
Oh, yeah, that was close. It was a
So
nail-biter,
close.
and we didn't get the results until
The
days
very
after.
end.
Right,
Yeah. So for her to win so decisively, I think she's got to be feeling pretty good this morning.
The one that seemed to be, of the congressional races, the most, I won't say divisive, but the one that got a little heated, I guess, toward the end was the Moore-Lisenby race, and that's because of a couple of things posted by the Lisenby people. We're talking about Carrie Ann Lisenby, who ran against Blake Moore in the 2nd Congressional District. One, she made some allegations that he had been involved in insider trading while a member of Congress. He took pretty significant offense to that. And second, and more recently, she questioned a flyer that he had sent out close to the election, feeling like it was a little bit close to electioneering instead of just giving your constituents information about something that's going on while you're in Congress. Of course, there were some rules about that he seemingly did not violate.
Right, he followed the rules.
Right, he followed the rules probably on both of those issues. But I think Carrie Ann Lisenby was also recognizing that she was down to the final couple of weeks and she was behind and was going to do what she could, and I'm just surmising, to try to close that gap.
So anyway, so those congressional races are interesting. There wasn't a primary in the 4th Congressional District. We've talked about that before. Representative Mike Kennedy is on the general election ballot as the Republican nominee. He'll face a Democrat in the fall. But on the state races, so President Stuart Adams lost his reelection bid.
That was the other surprise to me. Okay, McAdams' victory by his margin of victory, and Adams losing at all. That one surprised me. Not you as much as me, but I thought for sure Stuart Adams would win for the reasons when we talked to Bridger yesterday about the fact that the other two running against him
that they might split the
vote. That I thought he would come out ahead, but he lost. He only ended up with 34%. And again, I don't know what the issue was there. Stephanie Hollis is presumptively the winner there. She ended up with 43%. I think that's a pretty safe one to call.
Yeah, and look, I can tell you some of the issues we know because we saw it play out in other races, and that is the data center.
Right.
Data center. See, you have me saying data now.
Data.
The data center in Box Elder County, because in fact, when we talked yesterday with Britt Johnson, who was up there in Box Elder County, we were interested in the congressional races. He said most of the voters that I talked to, they're here because they're mad about the data center.
They're talking about
they were mad.
Data center. So it appears, although those two races are close, that both of the incumbent Box Elder County commissioners who voted in favor of that, or
they're on track to lose their reelection.
Their positions
in
what would have probably been seen as a safe race for them.
Yeah.
I mean, you wonder if their opponents even feel lucky that they even jumped in, because it wouldn't have been something you necessarily jump into as a Republican to challenge an incumbent Republican.
Yeah. And speaking of challenging incumbent Republicans, we had the race with Representative Fiafia going against Senator Dan McKay. And that race also, the margin surprised me at how handily Fiafia won that race. Really big margins. I'm trying to see if I can pull it up really quickly.
All of these races that we've talked about today give me a lot of confidence in the fact that people really studied.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like just vote for the incumbent, or it wasn't like 50-50, everybody just flips a coin when they walk in the booth. I mean, there were not that studying meant you learned something good or bad about someone else, but that people did their homework. I don't know what makes me think that, but the fact that we have these numbers and that people, Fia, he's not even the incumbent, and although he was a representative in that area and was known, he won by a fairly significant margin.
Yeah, he was only known to some people, right? Because a Senate district has like portions of 5 House districts or 6 House districts. So he did really well in that race. Those numbers, 69.08%, almost 70% for Fia, and just over 30% for Senator McKay. So fun times. Look, we're going to stay on this topic. I didn't sleep last night, but
me neither.
But it was really a lot of fun to be here and be able to talk about the races as the results came in. So stay with us because we're going to have more Your Voice, Your Vote coverage coming up.
I used to think all money managers were the same until I spoke with Fisher Investments.
Really? How different are they?
Fisher's investment counselors are dedicated to service, not sales, keeping clients up to date on their portfolio.
Well, they probably just invest in a bunch of mutual funds like I do.
Nope. They build a tailored portfolio based on their clients' personal goals, helping them stay on track for a comfortable retirement.
Well, they must make commissions selling products.
Actually, Fisher doesn't sell any commission-based products. They're a fiduciary, and they believe that's a conflict.
Then they have some kind of complex fee structure.
Nope. Fisher has a simple, transparent fee that's a percentage of their client's portfolio. So they do better when their clients do better.
It sounds like Fisher really is different.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Fisher Investments, clearly different wealth management. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com/different. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
I'm Christian Staples with Arctic Spas. Spring is here, and that means pool time is here. No one makes it easier to have a pool in your backyard than Arctic Spas. We just need 2 days, and you can swim for exercise or enjoy family fun. Arctic Spa's all-weather pools continue to be fun all year round versus a regular pool which you can only use during the summer. We make it easy with maintenance-free filters, automatic natural salt water, and automatic pH control. No one wants to spend their time taking care of their pool. We just want to enjoy it. And that is what Water Care Automation is all about. If you're looking for a pool that is easy to install, easy to maintain, easy on the wallet, and you can use it year-round, look no further than Arctic Spa's all-weather pools. For more information, check us out at arcticspasutah.com or one of our 3 stores covering all of Utah in Salt Lake, American Fork, and St. George. Arctic Spa, the only spa built for Utah's harsh climate.
Summer shines a little brighter in Logan, Utah. Start your day on a canyon trail, cool off by the water, or cruise into the mountains for views that go on for miles. Then wander downtown for local shops, live theater, fresh flavors, and a scoop of small-town charm. From outdoor adventure to arts, dining, and easygoing summer nights, Logan delivers the summer getaway you didn't know you needed. Make this summer refreshingly fun in Logan. Plan your trip today at explorelogan.com. Summer takes center stage in Logan, Utah. Late May through August, Logan comes alive with theater, music, art, and can't-miss performances worth planning a getaway around. Catch a show, explore local galleries, stroll downtown, and enjoy a delicious dinner before the curtain rises. With mountain adventures by day and standing ovations by night, Logan turns summer into something refreshingly unexpected. Make your next getaway a little more dramatic, in the very best way. Plan your escape to the heart of the arts at explorelogan.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-572-3344. That's 800-572-3344.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know you can't cook. You're not one of those people who say that they can, but when people come over for dinner, they find out the hard way, you can't. You can't even microwave popcorn, and that's literally just one button. Plus, measuring and patience are huge parts of cooking, and that's just not you. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Everything to my back is dark.
High in the alpine wilderness.
Really ugly clouds coming over from the north.
A place
The ridgeline is imposing, the escarpments, the drops.
where survival
It's dark now. I have nothing.
is never certain.
This is not good.
My name's Dave Cawley, and I'm the host of a podcast called Uinta Triangle. It's about the disappearance of an Australian hiker named Eric.
Our conclusion and that of the sheriff is that the mountains have decided to keep him.
Come retrace Eric's footprints with me.
You have done this walk too, but this is your backyard. Did he really make a wrong turn, or did he decide that he was done?
He is not the first or last person to vanish in this remote region.
It was haunting to see the photos. I mean, really.
Find and follow the podcast series Uinta Triangle. That's Uinta, spelled U-I-N-T-A, Triangle, wherever you get your podcasts. All episodes out now.
Inside Sources.
Your voice, your vote. We're continuing our morning after coverage of Utah's primary elections that ended last night at 8 p.m.
You know, Holly, now what a hangover feels like.
No.
I'm sure you've never experienced one before. Anyway,
I have never had a hangover, but I have been tired before.
This is what it's like the morning after, and we're going to continue our morning after coverage. Sorry, that was probably a bad joke. But we did have some interesting upsets last night, and I do want to continue to talk about some of those.
And we still want to hear from you. What do you think of the results? Text us at 57500. And I will say we had a few texters already. We've had some people say that they were surprised. Well, we asked, are you surprised by any of these? Celeste Malloy and Ben McAdams. One, although texter says, I'm not surprised by Celeste Malloy. She had a huge media blitz. And then we had a texter who had a question. Stuart Adams is the president of MIDA, the Military Installation Development Authority, that had to do with the data center. Question, will he still be the Senate president? He will be through his term, through the rest of this term, which ends December 31st, basically. Right. So what will happen, though, in November is that the Senate Republicans, so Senate Majority Caucus, will get together, and they will then elect new leadership for the Senate.
And they were going to do that anyway. Maybe not necessarily new leadership, but they would revisit the leadership.
Yes, they would, and they would have had a vote. And President Adams said he would run again if he were to win, and he did not win, and so it will be a new Senate president. That will start happening really during the summer as people start talking to their colleagues in the Senate.
Right, and
it's a campaign.
Right, because we're going to know then, of course, who the senators will be.
That's right.
And what the field looks like.
Yeah, that's right. So really interesting. Down in Utah County, Senator Brady Brammer held on to his seat. He had a challenger from City Councilwoman Kelly Smith, but one of the things that's really interesting is that Aaron Davidson is out as the Utah County Clerk down there.
And he made a controversial hire right at the last minute that could not have helped him at all. His chief deputy or his deputy was hired, a young man who had some interesting takes on things, including who should and shouldn't be able to vote. And so I thought that was an interesting pick for an elections clerk. Davidson had his share of controversy anyway. He had some interesting ideas that may not have been that popular. But you know what concerned me a little bit about that race, and this may come across as odd, right? It was closer than I thought. I thought he was gone. You know what I mean?
He is. Yeah, right now the vote count is 55 to 44.
Right.
Just about 56%. But I suspect that that's not really going to change. I mean, it may narrow or it may widen just a little, but a lot of the votes are already in. So I think we can feel pretty comfortable that he's out. But yeah, it's interesting that you are surprised that it was closer.
Are you at all surprised by Trevor Lee out?
I'm going to say I'm not that surprised. One of the issues, of course, with Representative Trevor Lee is that he has been pretty controversial in a lot of his statements, both online and in person. But he has also won a couple of elections, clearly. And so to see Bob Stevenson win by such a large margin, that's probably what surprised me the most, is that it was 2/3 to 1/3, basically. But Bob is also known. His name is known. He's a county commissioner up there. Of course, he'll have to step down from that seat to be a representative.
Right.
But there's a couple of other races I wanted to talk about, if that's okay.
Sure, yeah.
So Tammy Tran is on track to win a county commission seat. Is that Davis County? Kaysville?
Yes.
So she's the current mayor of Kaysville, which is really interesting to me, and she is on track to win a county commission seat there. So I think that's really interesting. Of course, she'll have to step down as mayor. You can't be mayor and a representative at the same time, can't be on city council, right? You can do one or the other, but you can't do both. And so if she wins in the fall, which I suspect she will, because that's a pretty strong Republican
area.
stronghold. Yeah. So I think that's really interesting up in Davis County. I think Kendall Harris, let me look. Actually, that's not Davis County. That's got to be Weber County. So Kendall Harris is Davis County, and she's the just most recently past mayor of Bountiful. She has, I think, handily won her seat for County Commission Seat A, at least the nomination. It's very, very close, however, for County Commission Seat B, and that is, they're separated by fewer than 50 votes there. So that is Susan Lee, who's Trevor Lee's mom, and Lorraine Kamalu, who's the incumbent. So that could potentially change. So, yeah, that's a really interesting race. Races.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Kaysville. I guess if I'm wrong about that, I apologize.
No, it's okay.
I know it's on the border of Weber and Davis counties. It's North Davis if it's Davis County.
Yeah. So okay. That's great. So we'll have to revisit that in just a second. But we have Nathan Tweller on. He's the Republican primary election winner for Box Elder County Commissioner, who is running against Lee Perry. So thanks for joining us, Nathan.
That's good to be with you. Thanks for having me on.
So congratulations on your win last night. That's got to be very exciting.
Yeah, it is. It depends on who you talk to, whether it's me or my wife. So,
Is she a little dismayed?
Oh no, it's been a great process. We have a lot of fun with it, but there's lots behind the scenes that takes place, and she's a big part of it, but she often wonders why I do what I do sometimes. So.
Let's talk about something that wasn't behind the scene, and that was the controversy involving the data center. It seems, Nathan, as though that was not helpful for the two incumbent county commissioners that were running.
Yeah, I'm sure that played a role in it for sure. I mean, as I applied for this position and this opportunity to run, I've been on the city council in Perry City for 10 years, and just felt like it was a good time for me to, maybe put my hat in the ring in the county level. But I didn't realize that would come up a few months later, having signed up in January. But I think it did play a role. It certainly engaged a lot of people. Mostly the ones I was concerned about are voters here in Box Elder County. But it did draw a lot of attention outside the county, and even on a national level, it looked like as well.
So what is a message that you have to voters about what your priorities are moving forward?
The main reasons back in January when I did, I just feel like any rise and fall of any great organization has to do with leadership. And a lot of the challenges the county is facing right now, we faced as a city years ago, and they're very similar in terms of growth challenges, in terms of budget, in terms of taxes and increases. So a lot of people that just want more transparency and engagement in the elected officials. And so some of my early experiences almost 30 years ago being in Perry City and watching some of the things that happened and transpired locally, I just thought to myself as I watched some of those meetings take place and the emotions and challenges that went on, I was like, we can just do things better. I'm in the private sector. I do a lot with customer service and the competition levels, and it's important that people feel like they're heard, that they have a voice, that they feel like their elected officials are making the very best decisions for whatever their position's in. But oftentimes I think we make it way harder than it needs to be. And so as I've served on the Perry City Council, we really focused on engaging the public better, being very transparent and very cautious and very focused on the details of where taxpayer monies go and how important those budgets are and the burden that places on taxpayers.
Nathan, we've got about 30 seconds, but when you jumped into this, you were running against a pretty popular Lee Perry, former Highway Patrol man, served in that county very well. I mean, did you really think that? Well, obviously, you don't jump into a race unless you think you're going to win. But did you realize that it was going to come out the way it did?
Well, I mean, I anytime I get involved in something, I always play to win.
Right.
And but I felt like it was just the right timing, for me to get involved and give this a go. And so I respect Lee. He's been involved in state politics and state government and local government, as well as the Highway Patrol. And I know elected officials have to make hard decisions sometimes, but that's what voters want us to do. And sometimes challenges come with those votes, and sometimes they don't. But I really respect anybody that's willing to put their hat in the ring and get into the arena of elected officials, because it's much more difficult inside than outside.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and congratulations. That was Nathan Tueller, Republican primary election winner, apparently, for Box Elder County Commissioner. When we come back, two well-known members of the Utah legislature are out. Representative Trevor Lee and Senator Dan McKay are projected to lose their races. Up next, we'll talk with the winners of those races when we come back.
9:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. Our top story this hour, some big changes are coming to northern Utah following the primary election. 3 of Utah's prominent Republicans lost their bids for re-election. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla reports.
The Utah legislature will say goodbye to Senate President Stuart Adams, Representative Trevor Lee, and State Senator Dan McKay. Adams has been the center of controversy multiple times now, more recently for his support of the data center in Box Elder County. Adams conceded after Stephanie Hollis took the majority vote and the projected win with 43%. And Trevor Lee, who has proposed numerous bills resulting in heated discussion and protests from the people, as well as some allegations of shady business dealings, conceded after his challenger Bob Stevenson became the projected winner with 66%. And in a rare battle between 2 sitting senators, Doug Fiafia came out on top, taking the projected win, booting State Senator Dan McKay from his seat. He led with 69%. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
The Box Elder County Commissioners up for re-election are seeing consequences for their support of the proposed data center. The 2, County Commissioner Lee Perry and Commissioner Boyd Bingham, are trailing behind their competitors and projected to lose their seats. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. President Trump was set to sign legislation that Congress passed with bipartisan support that addresses the housing market. But 2 hours before an event at the Capitol, the president announced on social media that he was not going to sign it.
President Trump wrote on social media Wednesday morning he would not sign the housing bill passed by Congress until lawmakers pass the Save America Act, which he says he considers to be, quote, a national emergency. The president has been demanding this since March. The Save America Act requires proof of citizenship before registering to vote. Earlier today, the president criticized the housing bill as being of, quote, minor importance. The legislation's key goal is to increase the supply of homes for sale. It restricts Wall Street investors from buying single-family homes and cuts red tape to make it easier to build new homes. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Your money at this moment. The Dow is up 565 points. That's over 1 full percent. We're at 52,232 at this hour. Coming up, we've got smoky sunshine today and a chance of storms. We'll check KSL weather next. KSL News Time 9:32. Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
Do you have the backyard blues because your grass isn't green? Revitalize your lawn with Revive, the fast-acting, organic-based lawn treatment for thicker, greener grass. Use Revive to ensure maximum moisture retention in your soil, especially when facing drought conditions. With Revive lawn products, get deeper watering, deeper roots, greener grass, and say goodbye to the backyard blues. Get your Revive today. Available as ready spray or granules at your local gardening center.
I'm really interested to hear about how your parents talk to you at home, and how do you think they can kind of break through to you?
It's just to talk about it. It's just seriously it's going to be awkward at first. But if you keep repeating it over and over again, it's just going to feel natural.
Keep going, and soon we'll just be able to talk about it.
Talking about mental health with your teens is the power of we in action. Visit intermountainhealth.org/teen mental health.
Trying to make sense of the markets? Looking to diversify out of all the craziness? Thinking about tangible assets like precious metals? Listen to The Gold Show with Walt Phillips right here on KSL at 3 p.m. Sunday afternoons. Stay up to date on retirement trends, how the IRA rollover process works, and why investors are turning to physical gold. Walt is a national talk show host with decades of experience in the markets. Tune in for Walt's Insights and The Gold Show this Sunday afternoon at 3.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Once upon a time, there was a planet called home. It was full of happy people and all kinds of creatures. For a while, the people lived in harmony with nature. But as time passed, the people changed, and home changed too. The people saw that nature needed their help, and they realized they needed nature too.
Nature needs us now. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/now to learn more.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Learn how to save more this summer at uccu.com. And here's Cormac Bone.
Got a couple of slow spots on I-15. First, northbound from 3300 south up to about 13th south. And in that, in the Spaghetti Bowl, transitioning from westbound I-80 to go northbound on I-15, there is a disabled vehicle, and they're blocking that left lane. It doesn't look like they're causing delays, but do be careful as you transition the freeways there. And in Davis County, we've got some southbound I-15 delays going from Kaysville into Farmington, and that looks like it's due to that construction active working zone. This 4th of July, hit Bear Lake. Garden City welcomes Starship with Mickey Thomas, plus food, fun, activities, and fireworks. Enjoy a free concert and visit bearlake.org. Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
We'll have smoky sunshine today, a high of 97. We do have clouds coming in that might bring some rain this afternoon. Chance of rain tomorrow as well, 92 for tomorrow. It'll be cooler starting on Saturday. Right now it's 88 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio. Your voice, your vote.
Well, now that we've shared some of our thoughts about the outcomes of Utah's primary elections, we did have a lot of fun last night talking about what was going on. But let's talk now with some of the winners.
And for the next couple of segments, we are going to talk with some of the people who won over state-level incumbents. But before we do that, I need to clarify, Tammy Tran was not running for county commission. She was running for a state Senate seat, and that's what she's going to end up winning. So, well, at least in the primary, it looks like she's pretty far ahead. Okay, so we have with us in studio Bob Stevenson. Thank you for joining us. So Bob is former mayor of Layton and current Davis County Commissioner. Is that right, Bob?
That is correct. I've served in both those capacities.
All right. And you won last night over Trevor Lee. And as of 11:30 p.m., the vote percentages were just a hair over 66% for you and about 34% for Representative Lee. So, again, thanks for joining us in studio.
No, and I appreciate your invite to come here and be able to answer a few questions and talk about a few things. Thank you.
So you had some pretty good numbers. You had to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, well, according to my wife, she would just as soon see the bigger the numbers, it means she doesn't have to worry about things. And so, yeah, we were very pleased to be able to see that. It's good to have the feeling that the electorate is behind you and is supporting you as far as that goes. So
yeah, one of my questions is now what? What's going to happen between now the general election and then you're, I would say, probably going to win the general election. what is it you want to focus on when you get into the state legislature?
Well, I think, first of all, we feel like we have a pretty formidable candidate in Ms. Treasurer as far as running against us as a Democrat.
Okay.
So we are definitely not letting up in our process as far as winning this. We have to win the general election before we are in the legislature. As far as my present job with the commission, I am finishing up my second term, and there are things at the county that we're working on, and I will continue to work to accomplish all those things. Now, as far as the legislature goes, there were really 2 or 3 things that we felt were very important. And not in any necessary order, but one of them is that we feel it's time that we support getting rid of the state income tax on Social Security benefits. We sometimes get concerned and know that we have to do things for housing and that, which is very important, but we have to realize our seniors are very, very important, especially many are living longer and longer years, and we've got to be able to take care of them in this high inflation time. At the same time, we do have to continue to try to help these young people. I am a big believer that children need to be raised in backyards and in family rooms and in basements of homes, and not necessarily in hallways of apartments. And we have got to be able to figure out how we can help get these kids into homes and to make this available for them as far as that goes. And I'm a very, very, very big believer that there is a way of doing that. And I think a lot of it has to do with competition and being able to help competition help drives the price down. And that's what we've got to be able to do. Water is a big issue. I mean, I think everyone in the state has done a very good job as far as conserving, but we've got to figure out how to get that lake filled back up. Mother Nature needs to help us out a whole bunch.
Right.
At the same time, we have to learn to change our philosophies as far as everything needing to be green. There's nothing wrong with a little rock landscape and that type of stuff here too. So
you go from mayor to county commission to representative.
That's true.
The hope, right?
Next step is who knows.
Well, and I think that on that, one of the things that I think is important is the fact that I will be able to take, if I'm elected in the fall, be able to take a background as far as working in local government that I think can help out a lot in the state. Serving in local government and sometimes seeing things that take place in the state, you say, do these guys really understand what we're dealing with back here at home? Right. And hopefully I can kind of maybe enlighten some people as far as that goes. So
I've actually heard that from other people who had previous experience in local government, like Karen Peterson.
Yes.
Right. She's like, look, there's a whole different thing.
That's
like
right.
You are not aware. So anyway, we are grateful that you were able to come in studio with us and join us. And good luck I hope you have a chance to take a little short vacay before you start campaigning for the fall.
Well, I appreciate that. And I am going to Germany. So.
Okay.
Good for you. So,
okay.
Anyway.
All right.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Have a good day.
Thanks, Commissioner. Okay, when we're waiting for Doug Fiafia to join us, but in the meantime, we are talking about these races and these elections, and so both the Stevenson-Lee race and the Fiafia-McKay race were about the same, really. Although Bob Stevenson has 66% of the vote, and Fiafia has 69% of the vote in his defeat over incumbent Senator Dan McKay.
I'm always curious when, especially with incumbent Republicans, which seems as much of a sure thing as anything in this state, why people would jump in. I mean, obviously you can jump in anything you want, but you don't jump in. I think Stevenson said it right. I don't just do things. I do things to win. What made him think that Trevor Lee was vulnerable? What made Doug Fiafia feel like Dan McKay was vulnerable? I mean, they both predicted correctly, but those are, and they both gave up very good positions that they were holding at the time.
The commissioner did remind us that he actually is at the end of his term, and so he's not going to have to step down, so he'll just finish it up.
Right, but he could have run again.
He could have run again, yeah, and he decided to run for the state legislature.
Same with Fiafia.
Yeah,
right.
that's
both
right.
of them.
That's right.
Both of them gave up the opportunity to run for their positions again, and realizing that had they lost, they have no position at all, and they both seem to enjoy public service.
Yeah, that's right. So when the results came out last night, Dan McKay did post on social media, but we do have Representative Fiafia with us right now on the line. Thanks for joining us, Representative.
No, it's good to be here. Thank you so much.
We've interviewed you several times with respect to some positions that you've taken and some bills, and you've been very, very helpful to join us. But now we're talking to you as the presumptive winner of a primary election for Senate District 18. How do you feel about the results of that last night?
Just grateful. Grateful to my family, grateful to supporters, volunteers. This campaign was a grassroots campaign built by many people and many hands. And so just grateful for those who helped support the campaign. And we're excited about the results so far.
So our show is called Inside Sources. So I have an insider question. What made you jump in a race as an incumbent representative against an incumbent senator? Everybody wants to know. I'm dying to know.
That's the big question. Honestly, as I spoke to many people, many of my constituents, they were looking for new conservative leadership. They were looking for a fresh perspective. And although I have much respect for the current senator, I think they wanted something different. And I was willing to throw my hat in the race. And I think in politics in general, and probably in Utah, we like to believe that these positions belong to people and individuals, but I think they actually belong to the district and the people. And I think we gave them an option and gave them a choice. And last night we were able to see that they chose.
Yeah, and the results of the election last night show that you were correct about people wanting a change. Tell us this, Representative, what you think would be some of your priorities now that you're shifting to the Senate from what you've been doing in terms of the legislature. What would be your priorities next year?
Yeah, it may be a different chamber, but the issues and the priorities will remain the same. I've been focused on protecting our children online as it relates to social media and AI, and also keeping Utah affordable for this generation and the next generation. And so ensuring that we are being fiscally responsible with taxpayer dollars, making sure that we reduce waste, government waste, and making sure that the next generation can afford to live here in Utah.
So I just wanted to note that I saw a lot of your social media posts online, and there was one that really stood out to me just a few days ago, and it had to do with you talking about running a positive campaign. And I just wanted to applaud you for that, because at the end, you said something that really stuck with me, and it was, people are attacking me. No, wait, people are fighting against me, but I'm fighting for you. Did I get that right?
That's correct.
Yeah, I really like that message.
There was many opportunities for us to go negative and to sling mud, but we wanted to run a campaign focused on issues and focused on what people care about. And I think what proved with the results last night is people just want to be heard. They want someone who's going to represent their voice, not a fight against each other. And that's what we were focused on. And I think I'd like to see more positive campaigns as we move into November, is stop slinging mud and stick to the issues that people care about. And let's argue on issues. Let's not get into personal and slinging mud.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us, Representative Fiafia, and congratulations on your win last night. Coming up next on Inside Sources, your voice, your vote continues, and we're going to talk with the candidate who beat out Senate President Stuart Adams. Our conversation with Stephanie Hollis next.
You know, people have asked me about my diet and why I did that, and because some people didn't realize that I was concerned about my weight, but I was, and it wasn't significant. It was just something that made me a little bit uncomfortable. It made me uncomfortable putting on my slacks and putting on some clothes that I'd had for years. My waistline got a little bigger than I wanted it to go, and I could not lose the weight. So I contacted SOTA Diet Nutrition, sotadietnutrition.com, and said, can you help me? They put me on a program with a nutritionist who lined me up with a food program that I followed closely. She told me I could lose between 3 to 5 pounds a week, which was about right. I lost 4.5 pounds a week, got down to the weight I needed to get to about 7 weeks later. It's now been, I think I'm in my 3rd month, and I'm maintaining that weight that I got down to. I'm happy with that. I still follow their diet plan. I cheat a little bit now because I have gotten down to my weight, which is really nice. But SOTA Diet Nutrition, they've been great. I'm going to stay with them. Their motto is, join us for a short time to have results that last a lifetime. That's for me.
Looking for the ultimate Southern Utah getaway? Enter now for your chance to win an incredible Cedar City vacation. One lucky winner will receive a Hotels.com stay, tickets to the Utah Shakespeare Festival, restaurant gift cards, a dinner certificate, a Cedar City gift basket, a Visa gift card, plus an America the Beautiful annual National Parks Pass. It's the perfect way to experience the best of Cedar City and Southern Utah. Enter now at ksl.com/win. Sponsored by Cedar City Tourism.
The Children's Center Utah provides a unique service in our communities by meeting the needs of very young children and their caregivers. Here's a Little Minds, Big Hope message from Dr. Kyle Smith, the Children's Center Utah's child and adolescent psychiatrist.
Did you know picky eating isn't always about food? It can be a child's way of responding to stress, anxiety, or change. For young children, emotions show up in everyday routines like meals. Find out more at childrencenterutah.org.
Stolen Voices of Dole Valley, a gripping new 9-part investigative podcast about a serial killer you've probably never heard of, Warren Forrest, a sadistic predator who prowled the Pacific Northwest in the early 70s. He hid behind the deeds of Ted Bundy, and he's only been convicted of 2 murders, but is suspected of many more. Since the release of Stolen Voices of Dole Valley, a witness identified in the podcast could lead investigators to the remains of Jamie Grissom.
He ran into the woods. He said he stumbled. As he fell down, he looks up and sees the body of a young woman.
And now the FBI is testing forensic evidence that had been collecting dust for decades. This cold case is now red hot. Binge the entire season of Stolen Voices of Dole Valley right now, wherever you get your podcasts. And make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the latest breaking news.
The new Inside Sources.
So one of the biggest upsets last night dealt with a prominent name on Utah's Capitol Hill, Senate President Stuart Adams.
And he had 2 challengers and already appeared to be in a little bit of trouble before the Stratos Data Center project really ramped up. We did talk about how it would be difficult for him to lose, at least in my mind, because he did have 2 challengers.
Right. We thought they would split the vote, which they did,
Right.
but he still was down quite a bit, actually. So his role on the MITA board, though, once that really exploded, the data center project, that came into play. He conceded his race last night.
And so joining us in studio this morning, a Republican primary election winner for Senate District 7, Stephanie Hollis. Thanks for joining us this morning.
You bet. Good morning.
So Holly got it right. I got it wrong. Where were you? Of course, I'm sure you were.
Up until the last minute, I was still crossing my fingers.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, look, I mean, Stephanie, just remind our listeners some of your background because it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I am an attorney and I have worked in higher ed for 18 years. Before that, I worked for cities along the Wasatch Front. So
a lot of experience.
Experience.
So I don't know if everybody's wondering, but I think a lot of people are probably wondering, how do you take out a Senate president?
You know, it's people. This was a moment when people were really ready for something different. They were feeling like their voices were not being heard. And when I decided to run back in November, December, that really was the messaging that I was getting from people and feeling myself, that frustration of we're not being heard, our government's not reflecting us, we're being kept in the dark, and our values aren't being centered.
For one thing, we need more attorneys in state government. So I applaud you for running. But you had to jump into this, Stephanie, thinking it was an uphill battle. I mean, he is the Senate president. And I live in Weber County. I drive down Highway 89 every day on my way to and from work. And he's got billboards everywhere.
Oh, gosh,
what
yeah.
he's done, the money that he's raised. In fact, he takes credit for Highway 89. Maybe he should. But, I mean, he certainly was out there. I see your signs as well. Mm-hmm. Not as big, not as prominent. but he was working it.
Yeah, he was. He was, but I think the people he was able to influence were not necessarily the people who had the vested interest in the vote. I mean, he has a lot of connections to people who have power and influence, but he just isn't as connected with the actual people in my district. And that's really, I think, why I prevailed, was because I have a message that resonates with people, and I worked so hard. I talked to so many people in our district, and I just was able to connect with them in a way that I think the incumbent couldn't.
So campaigning, we both have campaigned. It's a full-time plus job. So I hope, first of all, that you get some sleep in the next week or two.
Thank you.
What does your fall look like as you're getting ready to gear up for the general election?
I am going to be doing a lot of learning. I mean, that's really what this has marked my campaign for me personally, learning how to run a campaign. like I said, I decided to run in November, December, and putting all of it together, and then really digging into a lot of the issues that I only had a surface level understanding of. I've become so much more invested and aware of the things that are really concerning to my district. So I look at the next 6 months as digging in even more. I'd love to connect with people. I'd love to gather more data. I was even joking with my husband. I'm like, I need to take some classes. So
let me just say that is a woman thing to say. So there's actually data behind it. And when women run for politics, sometimes we think we need to know it all. We really don't. But thank you for being open to learning.
Thank you. That's a good insight. I appreciate it.
You've used the concept of connecting with people, I think, 2 or 3 times now. What did you do? How did, I mean, those are nice words, but how did you do that?
Really, I mean, I went door to door. I called.
You literally
people.
did.
I literally did. I mean, I hit lots of doors. I called lots of people. I went to every event that I was invited to for the most part. I think I missed like maybe one. When I got invited to something, I went and I stayed and I talked. Yeah. And I just honestly made myself available. I put my cell phone number on my cards. Everybody in the world could call or text me.
I think that's where we get the saying, all politics is local, right? Because when you feel like you can, say, well, she knocked on my door, right? I mean, that's something. It means a lot. So if you win in November, which is probably likely based on the makeup of your district, what will you prioritize? Do you even have priorities yet for looking at when the legislative session starts in January?
I do. I want to, again, focus on what is important to my district. And I really want to make sure we're prioritizing results. Like, I'm such a pragmatic person that I want to focus on the issues that seem to have just been kind of pushed down the road instead of focused on because we're so focused on other interests. I want to look at housing. I want to look at MIDA and government entities like that. I'm encouraged because the legislature already seems to be looking at some of those things, data centers, all of those things that are important to my district, I'm ready to look at. But importantly, I really want to look at process. How are we getting things done, and are we getting things done the right way? I mean, a lot of what happened with the data center was because it was a process that wasn't transparent to people, that people didn't feel like they understood, and then when things happened, they felt like they were overlooked and ignored. That's a process issue. And so I think we can fix those process issues, and that will just build the trust of the people in our community, which is desperately needed right now.
Your opponent had to be disappointed. I mean, he wanted that position. He already had indicated that he was going to run again if he won. He came out last night with a conciliatory, giving. He had conceded in a way that I thought was very positive. And I guess my point is, you must have run a pretty positive campaign because it seemed like you guys got along well in that campaign. I didn't see anything negative in that race at all, and it's not far from where I live. Maybe there was. Uh-oh, Holly's.
I just have to. Yeah, I do think that it was a more negative race than I would have preferred.
Oh, really?
And people were pretty...
There were a lot of outside people influence coming in. There were some weird AI ads that went out. Yeah, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the weirdest moment, like just weirdest, was when I saw a Stuart Adams campaign ad that had me in a deep fake blowing a kiss to a guy. Like, I just was like, where did we go with our politics? Where are we going with our campaigning? And, things started going more and more negative. And there was a moment when I pulled my campaign people together and said, we're not doing that. We're not playing into that. We're going to keep our standards high. We're going to keep our standards positive and kept to the record. We're not going to, we're not doing this attack stuff. We'll do comparison, not attack.
So he must have felt vulnerable. I mean, I'm asleep at the wheel here. I missed a lot of that, but you scared him. He knew that he was up against the ropes.
Yeah, I think so. For him to reach like that must have been something.
Look, I think timing always plays a part in campaigns, and it was the data center, I think, was definitely an issue. But I had already heard rumblings behind the scenes that there was some trouble brewing up there where people feel like he was not communicating. So, look, at this point, congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
I think it's amazing. I hope you get some sleep. and then as you move forward, right, I'm hopeful, and I think I hear this from you, that you'll be communicating with the constituents in that district in a really open and transparent way.
Yep, regularly. I've already told all of the people that I talk to, you have my number now.
Yeah.
I expect you to keep using it.
And the race is not over.
And the race is not over. That's right.
You got November.
That's right.
Well, good for you. Well, best of luck to you, and congratulations on your results.
Thanks for joining us in studio.
Not prepared for you to win last night, but Holly was. And thanks for joining us in studio. That means a lot. It really does.
Thank you so much.
When we come back for the next hour of Inside Sources, we're going to talk a little bit about more election results, both here in Utah, and we're going to go national. We're also going to talk about wildfires and homeowners insurance. Stick around for much more on Inside Sources.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
10 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. Our top story this hour, a Utah senator says they want to see congressional approval for military action in Iran before they will vote for military funding. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis reports.
The Pentagon is reported to be sending a request for $80 billion to lawmakers, with a large portion of the money expected to fund the war in Iran. But Senator John Curtis tells the Deseret News if any of the money is for future funding in Iran, he would need Congress to approve further military actions first. Under the War Powers Act, the president is required to get congressional approval for military attacks after 90 days of starting a conflict. The 90 days ran out on May 1st. Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
Davis County voters appear to have ousted both Utah Senate President Stuart Adams and Representative Trevor Lee in this year's primary election. Both are projected to lose to their challengers, as is Senator Dan McKay. Box Elder County Commissioners Lee Perry and Boyd Bingham are trailing in their races after voting to give initial approval to the massive Stratos data center project. Congress members Celeste Malloy and Blake Moore are projected to move on to the general election in November, as is former Utah Democratic Congressman Ben McAdams. Our top national story this hour from ABC News, are mice getting smarter? That's what researchers at Rutgers University wanted to find out after large groups of mice seem to be unaffected by traditional pesticides and mitigation treatments. Researcher Chenglu Wang explains what they found.
From those samples, we found that about 70% of the mice populations contain mutations.
The findings point to the possible evolution of mice as they adapt to avoid being eliminated. Your money at this moment, the Dow is up 479 points at this hour, just shy of 1%. We're at 52,146. Coming up, smoky and hot today. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 10:02. A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
My internet service is rock solid. In fact, it's the most intelligent Wi-Fi you can get. When it detects a problem, it even heals itself. In my house, we're connected with Xfinity Wi-Fi. It hits every corner of the house, and it's built for speed. Sometimes I even do my show from home, and I never have to worry about losing the connection because Xfinity Wi-Fi is powered by fiber, 99.999% reliability, and even better, The grandkids can watch a movie, play games, my wife can surf, and I'm still rock solid on KSL. And the best part is you can lock in 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with the best equipment. 5 years, same price, no contracts or commitments. You get everything you need. Data, equipment, plus you'll be online within minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. 5 years, same price, no contract. Go to Xfinity.com or visit an Xfinity store to get started. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Select plans only.
Let's face it, it's time to give your finances a serious glow up. Hi, I'm Susan Spears, a certified public accountant and host of the all-new podcast, Talk to Your CPA. Think of this as your ultimate money guide, packed with actionable tips for every stage of life. Starting a family, college, a business, retirement. We'll cover it all and call on a deep bench of money experts to share their best strategies. And when I switch into CPA mode, we'll cut through the jargon to uncover hidden tax breaks or financial nuggets that might work for you, like special deductions for tax earners, tax wins at age 65, and benefits when you buy a new car, or just how to stretch your dollar. The first episode drops soon, so subscribe to Talk to Your CPA on your favorite podcast platform today. Because true financial freedom isn't about ditching your daily latte. It's about uncovering hidden hacks to launch a financial glow-up that keeps on glowing.
Talk to Your CPA is proudly powered by the Utah Association of CPAs. This summer, celebrate America 250 somewhere truly unforgettable. Bryce Canyon. Stay at Ruby's Inn, the closest lodging to the park, where you'll enjoy comfortable rooms, free hot breakfast, an indoor pool, and easy access to hiking, horseback riding, and gorgeous views. And mark your calendar for July 10th, when the Utah Symphony performs a free concert on the rim of Bryce Canyon, honoring 250 years of America in one of the most spectacular settings on Earth. Make it a summer to remember at Ruby's Inn, where you'll get more Bryce for your buck. Plan your trip now at ruby'sinn.com. Celebrate America. Experience Bryce Canyon. Plan your trip now at ruby'sinn.com. That's ruby'sinn.com.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. Auto loan rates as low as 4.74% APR. And here's Cormac Bone.
We do have a crash on northbound I-15 at 2100 South. They are out of traffic and in that right shoulder, but just causing some light delays starting at the I-80-201 interchange, reaching up to 13th South. And in Davis County, some slight southbound I-15 delays going from Kaysville into Farmington in that construction zone. And in Layton, also in Davis County, there's a crash on Main Street. And this is near the Home Depot between Hillfield Road and Gentile Street. They're blocking a left lane on both the northbound and southbound side and causing some light delays near the Home Depot at 500 North. While you're planning your day, plan for comfort too with the Good Feet store. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
A high today of 97. There's a chance for some scattered thunderstorms that could produce lightning and microburst winds. 92 tomorrow, 95 on Friday. Right now, let's see what our current temperature is. 88 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio. Your voice, your vote on KSL News Radio.
You know, we did see a few upsets in some of the state and local races last night in the primary, but the congressional races turned out to be pretty much what we thought. I want to talk about both of these a little bit, but just humor me for a minute, and let's talk about Congress, the four races, because the 4th District had no primary.
Republican primary, no Democratic primary either.
And the others only had from one side. Let's work backwards and start with the 3rd Congressional District.
Okay.
The one where Celeste Malloy appears to have come out ahead.
I would say confidently it's more than appears, right? That this was a decisive win.
Right.
Certainly it was called by the Associated Press last night. I think hers was the second race. I think Ben McAdams was the first one that they called in Utah, and then they called Representative Malloy's, and then they called Representative Moore's. But with her win of 67-ish, 68%, over Phil Lyman. I think that's really decisive, especially as we mentioned in a previous segment, that when she ran 2 years ago, it was so close with her primary challenger that we didn't know results for a while, and she only won by about 200 votes.
She's got to feel pretty good this morning
Yeah.
about her numbers and the fact that she's not going to be, sitting on her, biting her nails for the next couple weeks while we're waiting for results to come in like she has been before. She came out very well ahead. And Phil Lyman is a good candidate. He was a good opponent, and I think that was a well-run race by both of those participants.
Phil has also won for a couple of seats that he hasn't won, and sometimes I think that plays into voters' minds, right? So he ran for state party GOP chair. He lost that race. He ran for governor against Governor Cox. He had lost that race. And so sometimes people are like, okay, you've had your bite at the apple, and now we're not going to go back. I don't know, but
I think even more problematic was when he lost, he filed lawsuits. And
that's also an issue.
And I just think people don't like that. I mean, get on, win or lose your race. And I think he took the high road on this one, but he, we don't know of a lawsuit yet, but I hope that he moves on. Let's talk about Blake Moore's race for a minute, because that one got a little testy at the end.
It did.
Carrie Ann Lisenby was not going to roll
Go
over.
quietly.
Right.
Yep.
But that one, Blake Moore, that was the last one to get called, I think.
It was from the
But it was
Associated
still
Press.
60-40,
It's still
yeah.
close to 60-40. It's interesting to look at some different breakdowns by county. And up in Box Elder County, where the data center was a big, huge issue, it was really almost exactly tied between the two candidates, right? So other districts, other counties, it was more heavily favored towards Moore, of course. But I thought that was really interesting that in Box Elder County, very, very close.
And do you think the data center played into that? Was Moore even involved in that much?
Yeah, he wasn't involved in that very much, but it could be, right? It just is there. I don't know if it was just an anti-incumbent sentiment. Certainly, it was an anti-data center sentiment for sure in Box Elder County last night. In fact, the Box Elder County Sheriff lost. The two county commissioners have lost. Blake Moore was basically tied with Carrie Ann in that county. So there was some pretty strong feelings yesterday.
You wonder what the sheriff did or hadn't done. I'd like to know the inside sources on that one. The Box Elder County Sheriff loses in pretty decisive margin.
Yeah.
So, and then finally, the District CD1, we didn't have a Republican primary in
That's
that
right.
one. We only had a Democratic one, and we had 4 candidates because everybody gathered signatures.
Or they won a convention.
Right, or they came out of the convention.
Yep.
McAdams' opponent, Liban Mohammed, actually won the convention
That's right.
at the end of the day because it was ranked choice voting, which I thought voted well for him in the general election, but he did not get good numbers in the general. I think he was like 12%.
Well, it's still a primary. Yeah. Still a primary. But yeah, as of last night's results, and I think I remember early afternoon is when the next dump of votes will come in. But Ben McAdams, as of 11:30 last night, had 56%. Liban had 14.7%. Nate Bluen had 25%, and Michael Farrell had just a hair under 4%. So in those races, right? And we were able to talk to all 4 of those candidates. In fact, we talked with all of the congressional candidates on our show. It was really a lot of fun.
Yeah, and they all came in except Bluen, but he was with us on the TV. But they were all very impressive. I think that was a win-win for Salt Lake County, no matter who came out of that race.
I think one of the things, if you're talking about CD1, one of the questions was, is this district so left-leaning that they're going to go socialist Democrat? Are they going to lean so far left that we're going to go really progressive, the Bernie Sanders arm of the party, for example? Or are they going to stay more centrist, more middle of the road? And I would say that, and we've mentioned this before, but Ben McAdams was the more middle of the road candidate, and the other 3 were trying to out-progressive each other, I think.
I was at the Democratic convention, and I saw how that went down, and Liban Mohammed was the winner, and he had such energy and such excitement and had the crowd rolling, but I didn't see that continue throughout the primary process. I didn't see a lot from him, and I don't know whether he just couldn't raise the money or what, but
he did a lot on social media, so I saw him a lot on social. He in fact, he posted our interview when he was here with us, and there was a lot of activity that he was doing with filming and showing up, and he had a lot of activity on social media. But yeah, money is one of the ways you get the message out, and Ben McAdams was the top money fundraiser in this race too. By
I would
lot.
say Liban has a future in the Democratic Party in Utah if he wants to. He's popular, and I think he'll do well if he wants to stick around and support the party, which I assume that he'll do. Nate Bluin, he just had some baggage that came out right before the convention. I think a lot of people, including a lot of Democrats who are currently elected, were trying to get him to get out of the race right before the convention. He was a pretty low profile at the convention, in my opinion. He did come out of it okay, but I think he was third in the vote. So, behind McAdams and Mohammed. I don't know how that affected him, but he did get some bad press right before that for some comments that he made when he was just a college kid, I think.
Well, don't excuse it.
I know.
Look, so that race is, at least the primary is over. I mean, I don't think there's any question at this point that anybody can catch up. Even all combined, they couldn't catch up to Ben McAdams. And so the primary winner is former Congressman Ben McAdams, and he'll go on to face Riley Owen, who is the Republican nominee in November. And I'll say, right, there are some races that are likely to have been decided last night, and there are some that will be competitive. And I think it is important, as we've already heard from some of our candidates, that they keep campaigning because it's not over yet.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to finish up our special Election Day coverage the day after by looking at some of the more interesting primary elections across the country. There were, I think, 4 other states that had primaries yesterday. That's coming up next on Inside Sources.
Summer shines a little brighter in Logan, Utah. Start your day on a canyon trail, cool off by the water, or cruise into the mountains for views that go on for miles. Then wander downtown for local shops, live theater, fresh flavors, and a scoop of small-town charm. From outdoor adventure to arts, dining, and easygoing summer nights, Logan delivers the summer getaway you didn't know you needed. Make this summer refreshingly fun in Logan. Plan your trip today at explorelogan.com. Summer takes center stage in Logan, Utah. Late May through August, Logan comes alive with theater, music, art, and can't-miss performances worth planning a getaway around. Catch a show, explore local galleries, stroll downtown, and enjoy a delicious dinner before the curtain rises. With mountain adventures by day and standing ovations by night, Logan turns summer into something refreshingly unexpected. Make your next getaway a little more dramatic, in the very best way. Plan your escape to the heart of the arts at explorelogan.com.
When it's hot like this, air conditioners struggle to keep up. Parts are under more stress, and sometimes those parts fail. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and no one helps more homeowners maintain and repair their air conditioners than Any Hour Services. As a matter of fact, last year, over 32,000 homeowners called Any Hour Services for help maintaining and repairing their systems. Any Hour Services has over 100 HVAC technicians to help with everything from maintenance, repair, to installing a new system. This summer, there'll be a lot of people told they need to replace their air conditioner, and they'll wonder, do I really need to? If you're told you need to replace your air conditioner and you still have questions, Any Hour Services can give you a second opinion and let you know what options are available. Maybe it just needs a little maintenance or a small repair. Maybe it does need to be replaced, but if you don't feel good about being told you need to replace your air conditioner, don't ignore those feelings. Call Any Hour Services for help with air conditioner maintenance, repair, or to schedule a free second opinion. Google Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Joe Fallon did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he commissioned a portrait of himself. Does Joe already know what he looks like? Yes. Do guests know what he looks like? Also yes. But not as art. It's Joe's savings, and if he wants to spend it on a velvet painting of himself with a white tiger at his feet, we say, roar, Joe, roar. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
And Doug. There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I'm really interested to hear about how your parents talk to you at home, and how do you think they can kind of break through to you?
It's just to talk about it. It's just seriously it's going to be awkward at first. But if you keep repeating it over and over again, it's just going to feel natural.
Keep going, and soon we'll just be able to talk about it.
Talking about mental health with your teens is the power of we in action. Visit intermountainhealth.org/teen mental health.
Every summer, the wild teenage boy hunts for gas money and pizza.
Dad, stop.
Without the right financial tools, he faces a harsh summer.
It's not funny.
With a Learn and Earn account from Cyprus Credit Union, he can build money skills and earn up to $200 to survive the hunt.
Fine, let's open an account.
Crikey, a rare moment of maturity.
Mom!
Cyprus Credit Union.
Learn more at cypruscu.com. Insured by the NCUA.
911, tell me exactly what happened.
My son and his wife and their 2 children haven't responded.
Susan Powell disappeared on a snowy morning in 2009.
And I said, Josh, where are you? You need to get home.
And her husband will never be held accountable.
Your wife is missing, Josh.
Yeah, but
and you want to think about it for a couple of days?
I'd had this overwhelming feeling that he had done something to her already.
I'm Dave Cawley, host of the podcast Cold.
Then he starts making phone calls to Susan's phone.
Hello, Susan. We are on our way back.
It's the deepest of deep dives into this tragic tale of abuse.
Where was Josh when Susan disappeared?
I don't know. Of one mother's desperate attempt to escape.
This is me, covering all my bases.
Help prevent it from happening again.
Our focus has and continues to be finding Susan.
Listen and learn by following Cold wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Inside Sources.
Candidates endorsed by President Trump won sweeping victories in last night's primary elections, including here in Utah. So from Maryland to Utah.
Yeah, and it was also a big night for the other side of the political spectrum. This was really interesting. Several candidates backed by New York City Mayor Zoran Mondani also won some big wins. ABC's Phil Tate has information about that.
In New York's 7th congressional district, where Congresswoman Nydia Velázquez's seat was up for grabs, Brooklyn BP Antonio Reynoso fell short to Claire Valdez, a Democratic socialist and union organizer who picked up the endorsement of Mayor Mondani. Here in the 10th congressional district, former city comptroller Brad Lander unseated Representative Dan Goldman. Lander was also endorsed by the mayor, while Goldman was endorsed by Democrats, including Governor Hochul.
So it's funny because we talked about Utah and the fact that moderates, including Ben McAdams, including even our congressional representatives, seem to do very well. But nationally, it was kind of a split between the Democratic Socialists and the MAGA Republicans.
One side or the other,
right? One side
right?
or the other. There's not going to be a lot of moderate.
Which
vote.
makes generals really interesting.
Yeah,
too.
right.
Yeah.
Because who do you support in something like that?
Well, again, I would say New York is pretty blue, right?
Yeah.
Pretty blue. So I wonder, it does make you wonder if it's going to be really polarizing. We've talked about this on the show before. So you can win in the primary and then not appeal to general election voters, and that can happen and definitely happens. But there are some interesting races nationally, and we had Utah's kind of little on the political map, but our races were interesting. Although there's not a ton to say, oh my gosh, what is this doing? Except for CD1 is likely, I think, to have a Democratic representative, which plays into the general of who controls the House.
Oh, yeah. And I think that the Democratic representative out of Utah is going to be popular even among independents when it comes to the general election.
Yeah.
But I would say this. I'm watching all the news today about Democratic Socialists, what's going to happen. Is that going to cause a problem for the Democratic Party? I would say the young people,
Mm-hmm.
the young people in America will come out and support what they keep describing as a democratic socialist. The more liberal thinking, the more liberal running Democrat. I mean, it's sort of the Bernie Sanders. That, you know, he attracted young people and continues to today. Zoran Mamdani, very popular in New York, but also popular getting the rest of the country enthused. I would say to the Republicans, don't underestimate democratic socialists just by putting that tag on them. I mean, everybody's talking about they're socialists, the country's going to be socialist. That's not the case. They're certainly more in terms of having the government do more to help people.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a message that helps young people now who are wondering how they're going to afford a house or daycare or health care.
So there's some the interesting ones that Mamdani endorsed. So one of the people that he endorsed in the 13th congressional district, so we only have 4 here, but in the 13th congressional district, the person who won was a Mamdani campaign organizer and a doctoral student, and she unseated a Democrat who was the incumbent, who was the this is what the Washington Post says, a towering figure in Upper Manhattan. In the 10th congressional district, the Mamdani ally and former city comptroller defeated an incumbent representative in a race that was spotlighted a rift over U.S. policy towards Israel. And then in the 7th congressional district, kind of the heart of Mamdani's base, in the New York State Assembly member and DSA stalwart Claire Valdez won the nomination to succeed Representative Velasquez. So that was an open seat. But 2 of the people that Mamdani endorsed upended incumbents.
Yeah, I mean, that tells you a lot about what's happening with respect to, and I think that young people came out and supported that. We don't know the numbers to that yet, but I do think that Mamdani has got a surge of popularity right now. And even Donald Trump talked about him like he had something going for him. I mean, they sort of had
they've gone. It's like, well, I like that guy, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know what's going on there.
Have a little bromance going, and you know, and it goes both ways. I think they have a tremendous amount of respect for one another, which says a lot for both of them. You know, the Trump-backed candidates continue to win. They continue to win in states all over the country, even though his numbers continue to sag. I mean, he's in the 30%. You know, a third of the country thinks he's doing a good job right now, and 2/3 don't, and that's across the board. I mean, certainly there are Republicans different if you took it by party, but overall in the country, he's not doing well.
Yeah, there's brand new polling out again this morning, and people are just really unhappy with the war in Iran, and his approval rating is the lowest it's been this term. So I wanted to talk a little bit about South Carolina, too, because that was super interesting. So if you remember, they already had their primary, but they had the runoff yesterday, and the lieutenant governor there lost. So those in South Carolina, they're split. So the governor and lieutenant governor run separately. So the current lieutenant governor lost to state attorney general for the Republican nomination for governor. It's interesting. Because President Trump had backed the lieutenant governor, her name is Pamela Yvette. He'd backed her, but then he kind of hedged his bets by endorsing both of them in the runoff. And so she actually lost. So in the House, to succeed Nancy Mace, 2 Democrats competed in the primary runoff to face Joe Wilson. And the woman who won was, if I remember, Nancy LaCour. She was fired by Pete Hegseth from the military, and she's like, I'm coming back to Congress, man. So she's the Democratic nominee for District 1 in South Carolina, which is interesting.
Yeah, so we had 4 primaries yesterday, including Maryland, Utah, New York, and I forget the other
South
state.
Carolina.
Oh,
That's
South
what I was
Carolina.
just talking
You
about.
just mentioned that. Yeah, of course. And it was interesting to watch how it's being portrayed today in terms of, you know, the Democratic Socialists on the one side, the Trumpers on the other side. Well, that's going to play out in November. We'll see. But I would just say neither side should underestimate the power of the other side, because Trump still has tremendous power, and he's going to have a lot of power in November, I think. And I think that he can do some things between now and then. He desperately wants to end this war. He desperately wants that to end on a high note, because he's scared, whether he admits it or not, about how it's going to affect him at midterms.
It's not going that well right now.
Right. You know, the border is secure, and I think a lot of people who felt like that was a number one issue sometimes might think that it's gone a little bit too far, but it's still something that he's fairly popular on nationwide. The economy's not great right now. The war is not great right now, and so he's got some things running against him if you're looking at the Republicans as being the party of Donald Trump in November.
So one of the things we've seen as breaking news this morning is that this big bipartisan housing bill that passed both bodies on a pretty wide margin, he decided he wasn't going to sign it because he wants to use that as leverage to get the Save America Act passed. There's still not the votes, but he wants to use that as leverage. So
and Republicans
we'll follow
are not
that.
happy about that.
They're not happy about that.
That could end up hurting them.
So look, in the last minute, I just wanted to share that I want to applaud everybody who jumped into races. It's hard to campaign. Win or lose, it's more fun to win. But it is hard work to campaign. And anybody who threw their hat in the ring, win or lose yesterday, I just want to applaud you. People sometimes say, and I'll say it's people who haven't run, people will sometimes say politics isn't personal. It is personal, and it feels personal, right? When your neighbors vote for somebody else, when your family members are like, I don't want to support you, right? I mean, it is personal.
Oh, tell me about
it. And losing stings, right? I mean, let's just be clear. Losing is not fun. So I wanted to just do a shout out to everybody who threw their hat in the ring, and even people who lost at the convention level, or people who lost in the primary, also the people who won, but specifically people who didn't have things go the way that they hoped. I still want to say thanks for throwing your hat in the ring.
I agree, and it takes a lot of guts to do that. It takes money, it takes time, it takes you away from other things you could be doing. You and I have both done it. I absolutely applaud people to do that, and I think it's such an incredibly important part of our democracy. All right, up next, wildfire smoke all along the Wasatch Front with ash falling, including right here in Salt Lake City. With Utah Fire Watch, we want to learn more about wildfires and homeowners insurance. Should you be considering that? Coming up after this.
10:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. Our top story this hour. Just into the newsroom, we have gotten confirmation a Cessna airplane went down near Willard in northern Utah. We have very few details beyond that, but we are sending a crew to get more information, including how many were on board and their conditions. The two Box Elder County commissioners up for re-election appear to be seeing consequences for their support of the proposed data center. County Commissioner Lee Perry and Commissioner Boyd Bingham are trailing behind their competitors in the primary election results and are projected to lose their seats. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. President Trump has canceled a bill signing at the U.S. Capitol for a bipartisan bill designed to make it easier for Americans to get into housing. Instead, the president says he will not sign the bill until Congress passes the Save America Act that overhauls U.S. elections. The Utah Jazz picked Kansas guard Darren Peterson with the second overall pick in last night's NBA draft. They did so just minutes after BYU star A.J. Debonsa went number 1 overall to the Washington Wizards. Peterson spoke about joining a young Jazz core that's looking to start winning after years of rebuilding.
It's a new young core, and I'm excited to go be a part of it. I think we got a lot of great players, and I'm blessed to go into a situation where I think we can win right away.
Peterson says his goals this season are playing all 82 games and helping the Jazz get back to the playoffs. Your money at this moment, the Dow is up 477 at this hour. We're at 52,149. Coming up, more smoke and heat today. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 10:32.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
I never thought I'd have to go on a diet. I never thought that if I did have to go on a diet, I couldn't just lose the weight by myself, and I was wrong on both accounts. I did need to lose some weight, and I couldn't do it by myself, so I hooked up with Sota Diet Nutrition, and it worked out well for me. I had a plan with them that went for several weeks and got down to the weight I needed to get to by losing over 4 pounds a week. Seriously, 4 pounds a week, and it has stayed with me off even though I reached my target weight, it's been about 6 or 8 weeks now, I continue to lose weight a little bit, even though I'm not even trying to anymore. The diet has worked so well. It's based on food. I have changed my diet. I changed my plan. I changed some of the things I do. I'm working out again. I'm feeling better. I'm wearing clothes I haven't worn in a long time, and it's just been so fun. It's been something that my wife has appreciated. She's even on board with the diet, and it people notice it. People see me and say, "Hey, have you lost some weight?" Absolutely makes me happy to hear what people say that. Soda Diet Nutrition. Say it with me. Soda, state of the art.
Escape the everyday with a quick trip to Cedar City. Just one tank of gas from the Wasatch Front, but a world away in experience. Hike through the cool, refreshing beauty of Canara Falls, where red rock walls and flowing water create a stunning natural escape. Then head up to Cedar Breaks National Monument, where the air is crisp, the views stretch for miles, and the night skies come alive with thousands of stars. And when the sun goes down, step into the spotlight at the world-renowned Utah Shakespeare Festival, where unforgettable stories unfold under the open sky. From outdoor adventure to rich arts and culture to peaceful, wide-open spaces, Cedar City is the kind of getaway that helps you slow down, breathe deeper, and reconnect. So whether you're chasing fresh mountain air, unforgettable scenery, or a night of incredible live performance, it's all waiting for you, closer than you think. Discover the art of adventure. Find your inspiration in Cedar City. Plan your getaway today at visitcedarcity.com.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Any Hour Services can make sure your AC keeps you cool this summer. Whether you need a tune-up, repair, or just a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. You deserve to love where you bank. And here's Cormac Bone.
Got some delays on I-15, first southbound in Davis County from Kaysville down to Farmington, and that's due to construction. And then in Salt Lake County, northbound I-15 is a little slow approaching 90th South. And the crash that we had just after the I-8201 interchange, that's since cleared off the road, so there's no delays there closer to Salt Lake City. In Utah County, we also have some northbound I-15 delays from about 800 North up to Pleasant Grove Boulevard. That's due to a disabled semi-truck that's out of traffic and in the right shoulder. They were blocking that right lane, though, and that's what built up those delays. Weathers Construction creates stunning functional kitchen remodels fast. Call 801-548-8409. Weathers Construction. Build your space better. Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
Smoky skies are going to stick around today. We should get up to 97 degrees in Salt Lake City. A chance for some scattered thunderstorms this afternoon, which could bring some strong wind gusts and even lightning. Right now, it's already 91 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
Well, air quality is pretty poor across the Wasatch Front today, thanks to several wildfires burning around the state.
It's bad. Lots of areas, including my house in Pleasant Grove. We've had ash falling since Saturday. I saw it again this morning trying to drive up. I saw it last night driving home.
I've seen it right here outside the studio. It's not even that great in southern Utah. We're learning that the Eagle Point Resort, a popular ski resort in Beaver County, has been destroyed by the Cottonwood Fire. I didn't realize that, but that's that would be huge.
So Ski Utah sent KSL a statement a few minutes ago saying that they're heartbroken to learn that recreation, livelihoods, and a local identity have been lost.
I think that's a private resort in Beaver County, not one that you hear a lot about, but Eagle Point Resort destroyed. As we talk about wildfires, you might be wondering what happens if a wildfire damages or destroys your property or especially your home.
So we're going to go in depth on homeowners insurance with this Utah Fire Watch segment and how wildfires play into that. So joining us now is John Pike, Insurance Commissioner for the state of Utah. Thanks for joining us, John.
You're welcome. It's great to be with you.
We can see you. It's fun.
Yeah.
So first of all, I just want to say these fires are really scary. They're tens of thousands of acres. And we know that the town of Eureka had to be evacuated. What do homeowners in general need to know about wildfires and their homeowners insurance?
Well, of course, our hearts go out to everyone who's affected so far by these fires, and we're so grateful for the first responders who just do amazing work. First and foremost, obviously before a fire, I think as homeowners and wherever we live, I think we need to become more and more aware of the importance of mitigating, or in other words, kind of reducing the risks that could be surrounding us, and that often comes in the form of considering the trees, the branches, the shrubbery, the waste, or the debris that might be around our yards. If we can kind of pay attention to those things and reduce those risks, it can really lend, first of all, to a safer situation in the event that there is a fire close to us. Even branches and stuff that are overhanging our roofs, insurance companies look at those kinds of things and say they might advise us if they look at them and see that we might have them in order to get a more favorable premium, or sometimes even to receive insurance at all from them. They're going to look at those things more and more, especially as they observe more of those fires happening in our state.
John, I should know this because I'm an attorney, but I'm going to sound naive. But when homeowners purchase insurance, is it something that they can take for granted that will include fire insurance? I know sometimes flood insurance, or there's some areas that you just don't have it available to you. But is fire insurance a part of a homeowner's insurance policy usually?
Yes, that is the case. Although there are some who are kind of talking about, should it become more like a flood situation? Honestly, I hope not, because I think that it's important that we have that basic protection.
So, are there unique challenges for homeowners insurance when it comes to wildfires versus a quote regular house fire? And we experienced a really devastating house fire about 20 years ago, so I know that process. Is it different if it's a wildfire?
Well, yes. And, I've had the chance to look at, for example, in California, the Palisades or the Paradise or Altadena, Pasadena. I've toured those areas after their fires a year and a half or so ago. And, some of the problem is some of those wildfires, they turn into more urban fires. They may start at the base of a canyon, for example, but then they spread in the case of Altadena and just devastated that community. And so, wind, heat, dry heat, which we have all those things, right, in Utah. And then it doesn't take much. And sometimes, especially maybe older homes that may have been built in a different age under different building codes, not as strong, if you will, protected, like in our current, what they call the wildland urban interface building codes that are, they restrict what you can build your home with. And you wouldn't build them with wood shake shingles, for example, in those kinds of high risk areas. But in our more urban, typical areas, they don't have to build to those higher what we call WUI, wildland urban interface codes. And so I think those are some of the concerns that we have, because wind and they can carry embers a mile or two away. And so what we may say, well, I'm not in a high risk for wildfire area. Well, you might not have to be, even if you're just kind of adjacent or down the street a mile. In the case of Pasadena, that's what happened. And so it really becomes, I think, important for individual homeowners and communities, neighborhoods, to really kind of start thinking a little bit more, especially if they're adjacent to some of those higher risk areas, to really try to protect themselves and mitigate their risk as much as they can.
You're talking about mitigation that something you can do on your own, not necessarily mitigation by upping your insurance ante, right? There are things you can do to protect yourself and to make sure that your property is more secure, fire breaks, things like that.
Exactly. I mean, even in our own properties, there's sort of some magic zones, like even within 5 feet of our homes. We all like bushes and shrubs and trees, but I know that. But it's really a good idea, especially in higher risk areas, to try to have those kind of buffer zones that's free from debris and even from trees and bushes and shrubs and so forth. That first 5 feet is critical. But even in other areas, like think of if you have a cabin or a home up in a forested area, they really try to get you to have the trees even 20, 30, even up to 100 feet away from your home in some of those more dense forested areas. And that doesn't sound like very much fun if you love trees and you want to be in the mountains and in the forest. But when you get into those really higher risk areas, you have to consider that. And more insurance companies are looking at that and saying, especially in those high risk areas, we're really asking people to try to reduce that kind of landscaping near to their structures.
So, Commissioner, I have one final quick question. We're coming up on the 4th of July. Fireworks go on sale today. What are your thoughts as insurance commissioner as we approach that holiday?
Boy, I'm like the governor. Governor Cox really encouraged people to go and view their city or town fireworks. I would really encourage that this year. Unfortunately, in my role, everywhere I look, I have the potential to see risk, right? Yeah. And that's what I'm afraid of with this is, let's just be extra careful this year, and let's go view our city or town fireworks and instead of putting that additional risk in our own neighborhoods.
All right. Thanks
Good
so much
advice.
for joining
Great
us.
advice.
That's Utah Commissioner John Pike, Utah Insurance Commissioner. We're going to keep talking about housing and homes thanks to our partners at the Stern team of Amada Real Estate. And after the break, I want to talk about the housing package on Capitol Hill that President Trump has said this morning he will not sign, along with some housing updates here in Utah. Stay with us.
If you're ready to buy a home or sell a home and you're worried about the current real estate market because of what you've heard from some of your friends or family, well, we're here to tell you that you really shouldn't be worried because now is a great time to buy and sell with our friends at the Stern team, powered by Amada Real Estate.
And here's why. Buyers have more options due to increased inventory, which gives them the power to negotiate for repairs, interest rate buy downs, and closing cost assistance. While at the same time, sellers are still getting top dollar for their homes, with home values that are higher today than ever before. So whether you're looking to buy or sell, the current real estate market presents a win-win opportunity for both buyers and sellers.
But you still do want to make sure that you're working with a team of real estate experts you can trust that can get you some great results. And that's our friends at the Stern team, powered by Amada Real Estate.
They have helped thousands of Salt Lake City homeowners, and they're ready to help you. To get started, just go to thesternteam.com. That's thesternteam.com, or Google The Stern Team.
More than 50 million Americans suffer from a form of mental illness.
And Utah isn't immune, with nearly 1 in 3 people dealing with anxiety, depression, or another form of mental illness.
But there's hope. We can all take action to keep ourselves and our loved ones safe.
That's why KSL has teamed with the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation to bring you hope and help you thrive.
It's Healthy Mind Matters.
Find out more at healthymindmatters.com.
This is Colin Keary from the New Millennium Group. Have you ever had a question for your financial advisor only to find out that the next available appointment is months away? At New Millennium Group, we believe that financial advice should never be limited to once-a-year review meetings. Life happens every single day. Markets change, retirement questions come up, family situations evolve, and when they do, you deserve answers. That's why we pride ourselves at the New Millennium Group on being accessible when our clients need us most. Whether you're wondering about your investments or a major life decision, our team is here to help provide guidance. We're not interested in being the firm you hear from once a year. We want to be your trusted resource throughout your entire retirement journey. If you're looking for a financial team that values relationships, communication, and responsiveness, we'd love to meet you. Give us a call today at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or visit us at utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Progressive knows it ain't easy navigating the open plains of home insurance, but there is one man who can help tame that wild herd of options. The Home Quote Explorer.
Note, Progressive's Home Quote Explorer is not a real person, but an online tool that lets you compare home insurance.
He's the type of feller who helps you decide on the right insurance, even if it ain't with him.
Again, not a person, just an online tool that helps you find great home coverage.
A real pioneer.
Okay, fine. Just do the thing. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations.
Got an expensive AC replacement or repair quote? Get a free second opinion with Vyrock Heating and Cooling. Call or text 801-306-8360 or visit VyrockAir.com. VAIRockair.com.
Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit. Make a plan. Be informed. Learn how at www.ready.gov. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Ad Council.
Everything to my back is dark.
High in the alpine wilderness.
Really ugly clouds coming over from the north.
A place
the ridgeline is imposing, the escarpments, the drops.
where survival,
It's dark now. I have nothing.
is never certain.
This is not good.
My name's Dave Cawley, and I'm the host of a podcast called Uinta Triangle. It's about the disappearance of an Australian hiker named Eric.
Our conclusion and that of the sheriff is that the mountains have decided to keep him.
Come retrace Eric's footprints with me.
You have done this walk too, but this is your backyard.
Did he really make a wrong turn, or did he decide that he was done?
He is not the first or last person to vanish in this remote region.
It was haunting to see the photos. I mean, really.
Find and follow the podcast series Uinta Triangle. That's Uinta, spelled U-I-N-T-A, Triangle, wherever you get your podcasts. All episodes out now.
If you're struggling with your mortgage, there's a free government program that offers expert one-on-one advice about your mortgage options. Call 1-888-995-HOPE or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
It's breaking news. We have Claire Scott in studio with us. What's up?
Yeah, just into the newsroom, we're learning that the cottonwood fire burning in Beaver County has doubled in size overnight. Fire officials tell us it's now spread nearly 60,000 acres and has crossed into Piute County. It is human-caused and is 0% contained, and we are continuing to follow the story.
Thank you for joining us. That one,
That's
Holly, is the one that
massive.
destroyed that ski resort in Beaver County as well.
To go from 30,000 to 60,000
Thanks, Claire.
overnight is massive. Massive. Okay, we have a little bit of other breaking news as well.
Yeah, apparently a federal judge has blocked President Trump's attempts to nationalize and require citizenship proof before people can vote. And that was something that we talked a little bit about yesterday. We'll get more on that as the show goes on, but that's something that broke just within the last few minutes, I think.
And yes, it did. And yesterday, a judge ruled that the database of collecting voter information, that they couldn't do that either. And so that's really interesting because it plays right into the story that we were going to talk about, and we are still going to talk about. President Trump canceled this morning what was supposed to be a major signing of a housing bill recently passed on a bipartisan basis. It wasn't even a close vote. a housing bill passed by Congress.
Yeah, and this bill would have reformed the housing market. It was aimed at promoting new home construction, and it would bar private equity firms from purchasing up new homes.
And all but 5 senators voted in favor of the bill. One of the senators who did not vote for it was our own Senator Mike Lee, but only 5 total. The president was supposed to sign today. It's supposed to be a big thing.
Yeah, but he canceled the signing, saying the Save America Act needs to pass first before he would sign that. Here's more from ABC's Karen Travers.
There was great fanfare expected today for this signing, but the president now has a choice. Does he veto this legislation, or does he do nothing and just not sign it? And that's important there. One, it passed with veto-proof majority, so if he does veto it, Congress could take it up again and pass it again. Or if he doesn't sign it, they have then 10 days where then nothing happens and it would become law.
So that's really interesting to me. So on Capitol Hill, House Speaker Mike Johnson says he anticipates that the housing bill will be signed in the next 10 days.
We're going to reduce regulation so builders can build. We're going to limit institutional investing in the housing market. We're going to bring the American dream back within the grasp of hardworking American families. Critical to do. Great policy. The president, when we go through the details of the bill, he's going to understand that it's a good product.
I don't know.
So
Don't
all
be
but
so optimistic, Mike.
So all but 5 senators voted in favor of it, and 358 members of the House of Representatives voted for it. Only 32 voted against it. So really massive bipartisan support. So it's really interesting because the president declared a national emergency that the Save America Act be passed. Now, that's the voting bill that is really being pushed by Utah Senator Mike Lee. He, like Cami Mondo, is our Deseret News political reporter go-to, and she posted on X that Mike Lee is taking a victory lap over this, but they still don't have the votes. And so the question is, are they going to change their minds on the Save America Act because of this housing bill? But the housing bill passed with a veto-proof majority.
Yeah, I was going to say, they do have the votes on the housing bill.
They
and in
do.
fact, they have the votes to override a veto. And in fact, I didn't realize this. Trump has one of 2 choices. He either vetoes it or he just refuses to sign it. Either way, there seems to be an avenue for that to pass. I think both ways. So if he vetoes it, they just get together again because they've got a veto-proof majority that passed at least the first time. And if he doesn't sign it at all, it just comes.
It's just, yes, and it's so interesting to me, right? It's like this could be a win for the administration, right, to make housing more affordable. And so I know that there are Republicans scratching their heads, if not cursing under their breath, saying, what is happening here?
And you know, the Save America Act's not going to pass. I don't see any way that
They
he's
don't
going
have
to
the
get
votes.
He's going to get the votes, not even within
Maybe.
his own party, especially given that there are several lame duck senators who are going to say, do what you want. You've already killed me in my primary.
That's right.
I don't need to sign anything for you
That's
now.
right. So, look, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about some of the things happening in the local housing market. This portion is brought to you by the Stern team of Amada Real Estate. There's an interesting article that I saw in Utah News Dispatch that housing starts have dropped to pandemic levels. So basically, if people are out looking at new construction, they're not building. So the starting of the new homes is starting to make builders worry.
Yeah, and especially along the Wasatch Front, we're really having a hard time getting housing starts and you know where we're going to put people because we still have this population growth that's going to continue along the Wasatch Front. People want to live here. They want houses, and they're not being able to afford them. And what was the median price now for a house in Salt Lake County?
$600,000 plus.
So, $670 or change. It's really become very cost ineffective.
So builder confidence has dropped recently, higher material and financing costs. So the change in these housing starts could, of course, as seems logical, exacerbate housing shortages. And there was a little bit of progress starting to be made in some states, but now we're starting to see some impacts on the housing market of inflation, of economic uncertainty, and builders are starting to feel it.
I don't know if you saw this yesterday, and I'm kind of off topic a little bit, but one of the Ivories from Ivory Home, did you read what he said? He said that it's a time when parents should consider helping their kids purchase a home rather than wait till you die and give them the money. I mean,
I did see that.
A little bit of self-serving advice, and of course, my stepdaughter's like, "Hey, let's get something going here," which I don't blame her at all. But it does make sense if you're a parent and you're in a pretty good financial situation, maybe not to buy and give your kid a home, but to help them out at a time when they can't afford it, because right now young people can't afford a home.
So here's really in line with that, a story from Fox 13 about how housing advocates and builders like the idea of subdividing your lot, for example. So they start with an example of a family in Eagle Mountain who wanted to cut their property in half. They have about 1.5 acres, and they wanted to let downsize, subdivide, leave one home available, put another home on the second half of this property. But Eagle Mountain said, nope, not doing that.
I mean, there are HOAs and there are agreements and terms and conditions with respect to virtually all property. That's not that easy to just build another house. But it may be that our government's going to have to jump in and say, look, we need to have more housing, and it's okay for you to put a...
That was a conversation that the legislature's been having over the last couple of years, if you remember, right? And even the governor said, hey, we might have to step in here, right? And they haven't at so far, but Representative Ray Ward, he has run a bill saying by default, right, we're going to allow this type of subdividing as long as the cities can't find their own path forward, for example. So one of the things that's interesting about Representative Ward is he lives in Bountiful. He represents that area. And he said, we're on the block where my great-great-grandfather had his family farm. So it used to be there was one farm there with one house. And he said, now there's 45 homes on it because we were able to subdivide.
Right, yeah.
So even the house that I live on, I have 1 acre. Right before we bought it, it was a 2.5 acre property, and the previous owner sold off part of it. That has 2 houses on it, and then we have the rest of it. And I do have kids that have said, hey, can we buy half of your land and then we'll build in the backyard?
A little
right?
house, yeah. I mean, the alternative is they move into your basement, so maybe it's not such a bad idea. Set up a tiny home in the backyard for the family, then you can kind of visit them when you want.
I just think it's interesting, right? If we're saying there's a lot of people saying, hey, I think I might have a solution to this, and then they're running into roadblocks that have to do with zoning.
Yeah, well, as we continue to talk about housing, we want to remind you that you can learn your home's true value in 30 seconds. Visit sternteam.com to find out more. And I hope that our legislature and some of our city planners are more forward-thinking, as they clearly are, find ways to get this done. Well, in the next hour of Inside Sources, we're going to talk more about this awful smoke and ash in the air, but we're going to finish the show with something more positive, and that's how Utah is celebrating America 250. Stay with us.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good morning. It's 11 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Cameron Elliott. KSL's top story this hour, Utah incumbents did very well in the primary elections, and a former Utah congressman is the projected winner in Utah's newly redrawn 1st District. Former Congressman Ben McAdams has been declared the projected winner over Liban Mohammed, Nate Bluen, and Michael Farrell. McAdams spoke after seeing the results.
We are going to fight for our democracy. We are going to fight for our public lands, and we are going to fight for our freedom.
And Phil Lyman says he's ready to work on more productive pursuits after Representative Celeste Malloy gained 67% of the votes. And in House District 2, Representative Blake Moore is holding on to his seat, leading out by 15% over Representative Carrie Ann Lisenby. In other local news, Utah has a higher rate of sexual violence than many other states, and a new study from the Utah Women in Leadership Project is trying to understand why. UWLP founding director Susan Madsen says it can start with attitudes and beliefs before escalating to harassment, assault, or even lethal violence.
The patriarchal norms come up, the religious context comes up,
but I have a section called Author's Perspective and Faith Context. And I talk about my own faith and how this piece is not an attack on faith or religion. It's really a gift to faith and religion to be able to understand what's happening.
She says the report is a roadmap to understanding why these things escalate the rate of violence, and that understanding is the first step towards making the change. Taking a look at your money at this moment, the markets are all up right now. The Dow Jones up 384 points, that's 0.75%. The S&P is up 20 points, that's 0.2%. And the NASDAQ is up 48 points, that is nearly 0.2%. Coming up, we're in for a hot week before a cool-off this weekend. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 11:02.
Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Friday, join KSL News Radio and NPS from 10 to 1 as the movie show stops by. Then browse and uncover what makes NPS so great. With 4 locations, NPS takes in new inventory every day. Then they check all competitors' retail pricing before marking items down 20 to 70% off. So you're invited to visit the movie show Friday 10 to 1. And that's the first step to discovering NPS. Visit npsstore.com to begin your own NPS adventure. npsstore.com.
I'm really interested to hear about how your parents talk to you at home, and how do you think they can kind of break through to you?
It's just to talk about it. It's just seriously it's going to be awkward at first, but if you keep repeating it over and over again, it's just going to feel natural.
Keep going, and soon we'll just be able to talk about it.
Talking about mental health with your teens is the power of we in action. Visit intermountainhealth.org/teen mental health.
Do you have an IRA or 401k? It's natural to think of this as being your money, right? But remember, you still have to pay taxes when you withdraw this money in retirement. And you could be paying a lot more in taxes on these accounts than you know. A lot more. Learn the strategies that can help you reduce or eliminate your taxes in retirement. Don't miss a special edition of Retirement Solutions Radio this Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, right here on KSL News Radio 1027.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. You deserve to love where you bank. Here's Ricky Meese.
Overall, a quiet drive on your Salt Lake County freeways. Good speeds. One tiny problem, it's a disabled vehicle. It's eastbound on the 21st South Freeway, not far from I-80. You'll see this near the 202 junction, about a mile before that, but it's out of traffic on the right. This 4th of July, hit Bear Lake. Garden City welcomes Starship with Mickey Thomas, plus food, fun, activities, and fireworks. Enjoy a free concert. Visit bearlake.org. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Today, the high is going to reach 97 with a possibility of thunderstorms, and that's going to carry into tomorrow. Highs are going to drop into the 80s on Saturday before taking a plunge to 71 on Sunday. Right now, though, it's 93 degrees and fair downtown. I'm Cameron Elliott from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at KSLNewsRadio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
Like KSL News Radio's Claire Scott just broke a few minutes ago, the Cottonwood fire burning near Beaver has exploded in size. It's now more than 60,000 acres, up from 30,000 yesterday.
Yeah.
And we're learning of the damage at Eagle Point Resort. Well, not just damage. Eagle Point Resort has been destroyed because of the fire.
Yeah, that one's almost doubling every day in terms of its size, and it was sort of contained to Beaver County before, but it's moved into Paiute County, I think, and it's getting bigger all the time. The Iron Fire that we've talked about in Eureka in Juab County has continued to grow. We were at 24,000 acres, then it went to 32,000. Now it's up to 37,000 acres.
Yeah.
They were really watching that one, hoping
Yeah.
it wouldn't cross Highway 6 and go into a whole different arena.
Yeah, so I drove in this morning. My headlights caught quite a bit of ash falling. It looks like snowflakes. We've had ash falling in Utah County, even northern Utah County, since the weekend. And we can smell smoke sitting here in the studio.
Yeah, even the Ogden Valley wasn't immune. We had a fire up in the east part of that little area they called Middle Fork Canyon burned, and it was pretty extensive. I think they got that one under control. There were no homes there. And luckily, I mean, knock on wood, we have had so many fires, but we haven't heard of any significant homes. I mean, the Eagle Point Resort, that's devastating, but there were no homes destroyed that we know of so far. The Eureka, I don't even know if they'd let people back into their homes yet in Eureka.
No, they have not, because there's a couple of reasons. One of them is that this afternoon they're expecting high winds and lightning. So they don't think the storm will produce a lot of moisture, but it will have lightning and winds up to 60 miles an hour or even more.
Yeah, our producer Andy said that when he woke up this morning had ash on his car. We want to know what you're seeing in your neck of the woods. Join the conversation. Tell us what you're seeing. Send us a picture if you want. And text our number 57500, because my guess is this is a statewide issue. And no matter what county you're in, you're seeing some remnants or some indication that there are fires going on.
Well, let me give you this bit of cheery news.
Uh-oh.
Fireworks go on sale today in the state of Utah.
Kaboom. I mean, and we've had an interesting discussion about that as well, because Governor Cox indicated to some local leaders, hey, you ought to try to rein in fireworks in your jurisdiction. And what we had to...
Because the state can't do it.
The state can't do it. And one of the city mayors called us yesterday and said,
Kate
we can't
Bradshaw
do it either.
from Bountiful.
Right.
Yeah, so that was really interesting yesterday. Bountiful Mayor Kate Bradshaw told us that the challenges that some of the city mayors are facing is that they can't do outright bans in most cities. So some smaller ones, some in specific geographic locations. She said like Park City, ringed by the trees, or Stockton, which is, I think, a population of about 700, and they've been able to do an outright ban. But otherwise, they can't really do an outright ban according to state law. And Draper Mayor Troy Walker wrote on social media that they have been receiving calls and messages about banning fireworks within city limits. And there's some confusion after the comments that the governor made. And so he said the fact of the matter is that per state code, Draper City does not have the authority to ban the sale of state-approved fireworks outright within city limits during authorized dates and times.
There seems to be a little bit of I don't know, confusion about that law. A lot of our municipal leaders think, hey, we can't ban it outright. And that may be true, but they're banning it in some respects. I mean, I'm coming into work today, and I'm driving down Harrison Boulevard, and there's a big sign that says, Ogden City says no fireworks east of Harrison Boulevard.
That's right.
Maybe that's the limitation that
is the limitation. And remember, the mayor yesterday told us that there are higher risk areas where they can say above this certain line, below this certain line, there are no fireworks allowed, but they can't do an outright ban. So this is, again, from the Draper mayor. He's encouraging residents to forego the use of commercially available fireworks this season, to consider attending professional fireworks displayed, which are supervised by fire personnel. And then he does say this: anyone caught discharging fireworks in the prohibited area will be prosecuted.
Yeah, and there are also, cities can limit, I think the state does as well, when you can purchase fireworks, how long you can light them. And
that's right.
I know that's a small consolation, but you can't be flying them in August or September.
3 days before, day of, and 3 days after. So it's a week.
The 4th and the 24th.
Yeah.
I think so. You've got those 2 weeks of
And purchasing for the 4th starts today. So again, I just think it's so concerning where we have such a just a huge amount. In fact, there are 350 fires when I looked this morning in the state of Utah this fire season. Over 100,000 acres burned, most of them caused by humans.
Yeah, the majority, I think like 3/4 out of 300, some 200 and change were human caused. Sometimes accidentally, sometimes intentionally. We saw our district attorney yesterday give an announcement of that fire that was created. Was it City Creek or where was it?
Memory Grove.
Memory Grove, right.
Yeah.
And it was not necessarily intentionally created, but even under Utah law, if you recklessly commit an act, which means you're more than just careless, but you're not quite intentional. You light a fire, you don't take care of it. You're throwing fireworks around in an area you shouldn't be. If you recklessly cause a fire, you can be charged criminally with what's called reckless burning.
Okay. So I also know like some of the human-caused reasons can include chains that spark on the roadway or parking over weeds when your car is still hot, right? The weeds are dry and it can catch just from that. Target shooting can be a reason that they're human-caused, not making sure your campfire is all the way out. And right now there are still... You still have the ability in our canyons, at least most of them, to start fires in fire pits, but they have to be completely out before you leave.
Yeah, you have to take them out entirely. And of course, when you're in a dry area where the brush around you is all like tinder and it's 90 degrees and there are winds that bring a high level of oxygen into the fire, it's just waiting to have a problem, and people just need to be aware of that, because you might think, oh, I'm throwing my cigarette out of my car, your chains are rubbing, whatever, no big deal, it's just going to be a spark, a little flame. But once it gets started, it's a huge problem.
Yeah, don't do that.
If you're doing something and you create it and you get caught, you can be prosecuted criminally, and you can be on the hook for expenses, for mitigation, to pay the firefighters and to come in and put your fire out.
So we have a couple of questions. We only have about a minute left, but one texter is saying, why can't the governor enact an emergency ban against fireworks? And I think the governor tried to address that, and he said he doesn't have the authority, that this is a legislative action that is taken by the city level, right? It's not something that he, as the executive of the state, can implement.
I think the texter's probably right. The governor can do a lot of things with an emergency order, and if he says we're having a state of emergency right now and I'm going to ban it, I don't know if anybody's
Remember, the legislature kind of hamstrung the governor during the pandemic. So there are other texters. One sent us a picture around Eagle Point. Another one said there are lots of condos and cabins around the Eagle Point Resort, as well as cabins that have all been lost to the fire. One texter is saying that he's not sure yet about what happened to his property. And then somebody says this, I agree with this, the oohs and ahs aren't worth these wildfires.
And you know what's scary? We're in June.
I know.
We're still in June.
We're in June.
The worst months are ahead of us. I shouldn't laugh, but it's laughing instead of crying.
We've got a couple of pictures that people have sent in from Spanish Fork. So my daughter lives down in Payson. Looks very similar. The sky is very overcast, but it's smoke and then visible ash falling on windows.
Matt Johnson told us there may be some monsoonal moisture. Let's hope that he's right.
Or there could be high winds and lightning and not a lot of rain. Okay. All right. Look, next on Inside Sources, I wanted to talk about this fascinating cold case, or maybe it's just an old case, murder investigation out of Zion National Park. I have a lot of legal questions for you, so stay with us after this break.
I was in foot pain for 20 years, trying to give it relief, buying all these different insoles. Drugstore insoles, custom insoles. I spent thousands of dollars. I bought all these products, and not a single one worked. I really, truly needed to have relief in my feet. And the Good Feet arch supports were what gave me the relief I needed.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure that I got something that my feet felt good in, not somebody else's feet. I love the fact that I can wear these arch supports in all my shoes. I have boots, I have cowboy boots, I have running shoes, I have walking shoes, I have flat shoes, I have heels. It makes me so happy. If you ask my husband, he will crack up because there is no store I would rather go in than a shoe store. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
We have locations in Farmington, Riverton, and Sandy.
This is Nate Orchard from Advanced Window Products.
When you live in Utah, your windows do a lot more than let the light in. They protect your home from freezing winters, blazing summers, and everything in between. That's why Advanced Window Products builds every window for your local climate. No middleman, no out-of-state delays, just factory direct quality, custom made for your home. Imagine a quieter home, a warmer home, a cooler home. Our high-efficiency vinyl windows are engineered to lower your energy bills and boost your comfort all year round. And installation is done by our own certified in-house crews, never subcontractors. That's why Utah homeowners give us 5-star reviews. Right now, take advantage of our anniversary sale. For a limited time, get $2,500 off when you buy 10 or more windows. Call 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100. For 40 years, Advanced Window Products has been the name Utah trusts for custom replacement windows and sliding glass doors. Advanced Window Products, built here, installed here, trusted here. Call 801-850-9100 for that $2,500 off, or visit us at advancedwindows.com to schedule your free in-home estimate.
This summer, Utah Festival Opera and Musical Theater is back. We're celebrating the 250th anniversary of America with a season that sings our nation's history and yours. First, freedom, passion, and unforgettable storytelling with the Tony Award-winning musical 1776. Starring two Michaels, renowned singer Michael Ballum and Metropolitan Opera singer Michael Sokol. Then, Gilbert and Sullivan's silly and swashbuckling, okay, not really, but at least it's a pirate word, The Pirates of Penzance, plus the moving romance of the last 5 years. This year, we're even honoring the legal system with the courtroom duo, Scalia Ginsburg and the lighthearted Trial by Jury. The first is based on the true story of two Supreme Court justices who couldn't agree on anything except for their love of opera. The second is another Gilbert and Sullivan romp that'll leave you laughing. Join world-class singers, a full orchestra, and the magic of live theater in historic downtown Logan. Bonus, Utah teachers and students get free tickets. UtahFestival.org.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-881-8686. That's 800-881-8686. 800-881-8686.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Stolen Voices of Dole Valley, a gripping new 9-part investigative podcast about a serial killer you've probably never heard of, Warren Forrest, a sadistic predator who prowled the Pacific Northwest in the early 70s. He hid behind the deeds of Ted Bundy, and he's only been convicted of 2 murders, but is suspected of many more. Since the release of Stolen Voices of Dole Valley, a witness identified in the podcast could lead investigators to the remains of Jamie Grissom.
He ran into the woods. He said he stumbled. As he fell down, he looks up and sees the body of a young woman.
And now the FBI is testing forensic evidence that had been collecting dust for decades. This cold case is now red hot. Binge the entire season of Stolen Voices of Dole Valley right now, wherever you get your podcasts. And make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the latest breaking news.
And expanded Inside Sources.
We're learning today about some developments in what was an old case out of Zion's National Park. Bernadette Vandermeer died in a fall on Angel's Landing in 2006.
So 20 years ago, after 3 investigations over the last 20 years, the Washington County Attorney's Office has charged Bernadette's husband, David, in connection with her death.
Yeah, and the case is really interesting and not quite as straightforward as you might think. So let me just break down what the information states. We have to go back to when the when she died. I won't say that when the homicide occurred because it's alleged homicide, but in August of 2006, David and Bernadette Vandermeer took a trip to Zions National Park. They're hiking up, and they do this really early morning hike. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. They've got headlights on. That's significant in terms of what the evidence is. They get to a point, and he alleges that he told her to stand over here, and he was going to take a picture of her to try to get the sunrise in the background. He wanted the silhouette.
I was going to
image.
say in the dark.
Right,
Okay.
in the dark, and he turns away to get the camera. He hears a scream. She falls to her death. That's in 2006. They have memorial service. They move on, and not much happens except that the police down there, and this is in Washington County, the St. George area is where the case is filed. Of course, that's Zions National Park is in that county, at least where this occurred. They're looking at the case. They don't feel good about this guy at all. And so they go both before and after and look at some of the conduct that had occurred during that time. He was a pastor in a church down there and was involved with a lot of young people and was engaged allegedly with some inappropriate activities with at least one young female, a 16-year-old girl that he was having some sexual contact with during that time, and was actually paying her to stay at a hotel. He would meet her at various places. He was, according to this report, cheating on his wife.
He was a youth pastor, and so he was raping one of the young women in his congregation.
You're right.
Thank you.
Cut to the chase.
Okay, thank
exactly.
you. Thank
because
you.
you can't have consensual sex with somebody that is your pastor if you're 16 years old. Nonetheless, he has then. So there, it's what we call circumstantial evidence. Nobody has evidence that he did something, but circumstantially, you have this. You have his relationship with this female during the time when he's married, and he tells her, I can't be with you as long as my wife is alive. Makes comments like that. He applies for a $150,000 life insurance on him and his wife. He increases that by $400,000, so he's got some almost $600,000 in life insurance, $550,000 right in the months prior to her death. And then they find some notes from her, the wife, who says, I don't feel good about this. I'm sad. I'm not getting much attention. She stops getting her nails done. She stops going to Starbucks because he's cutting her back her finances. Her coworkers say she won't even purchase work clothes because she takes all his money. They purchase a car that gets destroyed in what looks to be an insurance fraud scheme. It's unclear because there is an insurance fraud thing here too. She's excited that they're going on this trip, but then falls to her death. So they look at this, and they've been working the case, the authorities down there, for years. He then collects this $500,000 and change insurance policy. He actually buys the little girl that he's having this relationship with a car. Just not too far after that, he marries her later on, that divorces her, says some things that cause her some concern. They interview her. They finally find her. Her initials are SH. They don't use her name for obvious reasons. And she talks about that he's having parties. He's providing alcohol to minors, teaching them to gamble. He loses his position as a pastor.
Well,
anyway,
thank goodness for that.
I mean, this probable cause statement that I'm reading about, it reads like a novel, and it's probably 20 pages long. I mean, it just goes on and on and on.
Let me ask you then a couple of questions.
Sure.
So 20 years feels like a long time. I asked you if it was, during our break, if it was a cold case or just an old case. And you said it's not really a cold case because they kind of had suspicions, right?
Well, yeah, cold cases, what I consider to be a cold case, just having done this for 44 years, is somebody died and it's a homicide. And you're like, what happened? How
at the hand of someone else.
Who committed this crime? In this case, she died, but they don't know if it's a homicide or not. They even know who she's with.
Right.
So it's not a cold case because it's an active investigation. They know if anyone did it, who did it. The only question is, how can they prove that he did it? He was alone with her at the time.
Mm-hmm.
He was there. He admits that. I was with her.
Right.
The only person that could have done it besides an accident is me.
Right.
So it's not cold at all. It was hot the whole time. It just was not leading anywhere. And frankly, the prosecution has to prove that he did it. He doesn't have to prove anything. And so I think they were reluctant to file charges until they had all their ducks in a row.
So wasn't there some progress in this case even maybe 4 years ago, and then they still didn't charge? So what changed over the 20 years where they felt like they could pick this guy up and charge him now.
I think that some of the people have come forward, some of the people that they've interviewed. Of course, like you say, 4 years ago, they found the little female that he was having a relationship with, and they talked to her about this, and they sat down with her, and she gave him a lot of information about what was going on. They then, it's really interesting, but they had this wild testimony from a meteorologist or someone who went through the timing of what it would have been like on that particular day.
Oh, really?
The lighting, where the sun would have come up, and that his story about what he was doing and how he was taking pictures and why he was taking them at that particular time didn't make sense.
Oh, wow.
You wouldn't have got the shot that he was trying to describe.
A forensic meteorologist.
Yeah, it
that's
kind of
interesting.
Was. It was a I forget what they call them, but you're right. It probably is good a definition of anything from NASA satellite data. Now you got me saying data. Anyway, and they talk about this. I mean, and they interview people who were there at the time, people who saw them, the relationship. He's now been through a couple of other marriages and divorces. This guy's sort of unsavory no matter how you look at it. He was terminated from his church after they found out that he was giving alcohol and gambling with the students, with the kids rather, that he was working with. And this whole relationship with this 16-year-old is just really problematic as well. But this Angel's Landing, this is another thing I'm looking at. They went back and they talked to the chief of the national park to review all of the fatalities that occurred at Angel's Landing stemming back to the 80s.
Yeah.
17 people died on that trail.
Yeah.
I mean, it's known as a dangerous one. And
how many were actually accidental?
It looks like 4 accidents. A lot of them they don't know about, and some are sort of, problematic.
Sketchy.
Yeah. I mean, Angel's Landing, it's a sketch. I mean, I've hiked it, and it's beautiful. I've hiked it with my wife and my daughter, and we love it. But it is an area, I mean, you miss a step, you're in trouble. But it's not hard to stay on the trail.
Right. So let me ask you this. We're going to run out of time quickly, but so they've kept these documents under seal until he was able to get arrested. So he's been arrested. Has he been charged, or he's just booked into jail?
He's been formally charged with 2 counts. One is murder, including domestic violence because it involved his wife, and the other one is insurance fraud, a second-degree felony. So those charges were filed the 16th of June, so just a week ago. I think he had his first appearance, or is about to have his first appearance right away. And then,
so what happens next?
So he's charged with a crime. He'll be notified of what the charges are, what he's facing. He can hire an attorney. He will, if he can't afford one will be appointed for him. The judge will set the conditions of his release, whether it's by bail or whether he'll be out pending. But they're asking for a warrant. The state is asking that he be held in jail. We don't know whether the judge will do that on a 20-year-old case, probably just based on the severity of the charges, and they'll schedule a preliminary hearing and other dates, but those are probably weeks down the road, maybe months.
Wow.
I mean, the government's had a 20-year head start on the defense attorneys, and that's what they're going to say. I've heard it 100 times. They're going to say, hey, you had 20 years to work this case. Give us 20 weeks or 10 months or something like that.
Wow. Well, I was just interested to see that after 20 years, they picked up the guy that they think killed his wife. So.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting case. We will follow that. Our listeners should know that we'll give you updates on that as they appear. But when we come back, we're going to talk about America 250, the celebration, the 250th anniversary. We're going to finish up today's show with a closer look of how Utahns are getting ready to celebrate the country's birthday just over a week from now when we come back.
I know.
It's 11:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Britt Johnson. KSL's top story this hour. A Utah senator says they want to see congressional approval for military actions in Iran before they will vote for military funding. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis reports.
The Pentagon is reported to be sending a request for $80 billion to lawmakers, with a large portion of the money expected to fund the war in Iran. But Senator John Curtis tells the Deseret News if any of the money is for future funding in Iran, he would need Congress to approve further military actions first. Under the War Powers Act, the president is required to get congressional approval for military attacks after 90 days of starting a conflict. The 90 days ran out on May 1st. Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
Some big changes are coming to northern Utah following the primary election. 3 of Utah's prominent Republicans lost their bids for re-election. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla reports.
The Utah legislature will say goodbye to Senate President Stuart Adams, Representative Trevor Lee, and State Senator Dan McKay. Adams has been the center of controversy multiple times now, more recently for his support of the data center in Box Elder County. Adams conceded after Stephanie Hollis took the majority vote and the projected win with 43%. And Trevor Lee, who has proposed numerous bills resulting in heated discussion and protests from the people, as well as some allegations of shady business dealings, conceded after his challenger Bob Stevenson became the projected winner with 66%. And in a rare battle between 2 sitting senators, Doug Fiafia came out on top, taking the projected win, booting State Senator Dan McKay from his seat. He led with 69%. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
Your money at this moment, a bit of a mixed market. The Dow has gained over 0.25%, but the S&P is off 14 points and the NASDAQ is off 87 points. Oil sitting at $70 a barrel. Coming up, hot and stormy today and tomorrow. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 11:31.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
This summer, celebrate America 250 somewhere truly unforgettable. Bryce Canyon. Stay at Ruby's Inn, the closest lodging to the park, where you'll enjoy comfortable rooms, free hot breakfast, an indoor pool, and easy access to hiking, horseback riding, and gorgeous views. And mark your calendar for July 10th, when the Utah Symphony performs a free concert on the rim of Bryce Canyon, honoring 250 years of America in one of the most spectacular settings on Earth. Make it a summer to remember at Ruby's Inn, where you'll get more Bryce for your buck. Plan your trip now at rubysinn.com. Celebrate America. Experience Bryce Canyon. Plan your trip now at rubysinn.com. That's rubysinn.com.
Buy gold and put some silver in your pocket. I know what you're thinking. Everything's expensive right now. How am I going to buy gold? It's Ron Paul. Nowadays, a lot of things are out of your control, but there is something you can do right now to diversify your retirement, and it doesn't cost you anything out of pocket. My friends at Birch Gold Group will help you convert an IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, a time-tested hedge against inflation. Plus, in honor of America 250, Birch Gold is going to give you a special America 250 1-ounce silver round for every $10,000 you purchase by July 2nd. Text the word SECURE to the number 989898 to get a free info kit from Birch Gold and claim eligibility for this limited time offer. Again, text the word SECURE to 989898 today.
My friend Joey means well.
Always remember that the early bird gathers no moss.
But he gets a little confused.
You know, you can't make a silk purse out of a wooden nickel.
Like Joey, many of us can be confused when it comes time to plan for retirement. When to take Social Security, how to use that 401k, what about the stock market, taxes, and Medicare? Todd Kim at Galileo Wealth Management can help to simplify retirement planning. His goal is to have you walk into retirement with confidence, not worry, and to address the number one concern among retirees today, the fear of running out of money. Call Galileo Wealth today for a no-cost, no-obligation meeting to talk about the details of your retirement. 385-247-7000. It's 385-247-7000 or online, GalileoWealth.com. And remember,
one man's trash is thicker than water. Of course, water's not thick at all. It's watery.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. You deserve to love where you bank. Here's Ricky Meese.
We had a little bit of slowing northbound I-15 with a vehicle being towed just after 6 North in Salt Lake. It was over to the right, but did cause some backups in the area. That's starting to clear out. A crash in Utah County. This is southbound I-15 prior to 5th East American Fork. They've been able to get moved out of traffic to the shoulder. Common Spirit hospitals, clinics, and caregivers, all connected to advanced health care in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Health care with human kindness is here. Hello, human kindness. Ricky Neese in the KSL Traffic Center.
We're looking at temperatures in the 90s with potential thunderstorms until Wednesday, or until, let's see, the rest of the day. And then temperatures drop to the 80s before really slumping to 71 by Sunday. That'll feel really nice. Right now it's 93 degrees and smoggy out there. I'm Britt Johnson from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
Believe it or not, there's only a week and a half or so to go until the great big birthday party for our country, America 250.
Yeah, and let's talk about how Utahs are celebrating that. So we're joined in studio by two special guests this segment, both with America 250 Utah.
So Nicole Handy is the executive director. Chris Abbott's the associate director for Utah's America 250 group. We have a third guest as well. Remind us of your name. Renee Lita, who's also here. Okay, so Nicole, let's just start with you and just give us an overview of this big birthday bash.
Yeah, we're just thrilled that it's finally here. We've been planning for. We are definitely. We've been planning for almost 3 years. Governor Cox created this commission, and we've been planning events and making partnerships with municipalities throughout the state, and we're excited to see it come to fruition, and we're hoping that all Utahns can find a way to commemorate this anniversary over the next month, but we know specifically over the next 10 days and the next week and a half that there will be a lot of opportunities for Utahns.
Yeah. So what were the last 3 years like? I mean, what were you trying to accomplish? I know the day's coming up quickly and you've probably got a lot leading up to it, but what was the overall idea to do?
Yeah, we knew that, we based our programming and our hopes for this anniversary around 3 pillars: to educate, engage, and unite Utahns and be part of this national celebration. As part of that, we created programs that all Utahns can engage with, the education piece being K-12. We've been working with schools. There's a little break right now, but we're hoping to pick that up in the fall with the school districts and teachers. And then we have a Capitol exhibit, or an historical exhibit up at the state capitol on the 4th floor that talks about the Revolutionary War and the communication. And there's an original copy of Thomas Paine's Common Sense up there. And then we have a traveling version that's actually going to all 29 counties. So we hope you'll check that out and see if it's coming to your area more specifically at this time. And then we're engaging. We're trying to find ways for Utahns to commemorate in ways that maybe are already happening, and a lot of that is civic engagement. We're partnering nationally on an initiative called America Gives. So it's all about volunteering, giving within your community. So nationally, they're collecting hours. They're looking for the most volunteer hours ever given within a year.
Utah can do that. Come on.
We're there. We're getting the updates. We're encouraging people. I think so far nationally, they have over 13 million hours, and they'll continue to gather those. But then here in Utah, we have an opportunity for Utahns to apply if you've given 5 hours of service to get a certificate, and we'll mail that to you. It's a beautiful certificate.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think people can use it for youth groups or colleagues or anyone that you really want to acknowledge as part of the anniversary this year.
That's fun. Chris, tell us what you've been working on, because you've been really busy.
150 communities?
There's and counting. Counting still are coming on. So largely what I've been working on with the help of this incredible team is reaching out to these communities and really letting them know that this celebration is happening. And not only that we have resources for them. We gave them logos, we gave them toolkits, all these things that they could use in their communities to have this great festival, and really kind of making sure that they keep their own community spirit as part of those events. So we didn't want to come in and say you have to celebrate one way. We just said we have a lot of supporting items and documents that you can celebrate within your community. We've seen run the bandwidth of ideas and engagements all across the state.
Yeah, so the communities will typically have their own 4th of July celebration, but you can enhance that. You can give them ideas, and you can give them other things that they can do in connection with the 250th anniversary to make their event bigger.
Exactly. And it's even just as much as that logo, giving these communities a logo where they can have America 250 Utah and their specific community in that logo. We've seen that in parades, banners, floats, on light poles in small towns in Utah. It's just a great way, and T-shirts for volunteers. So it's been a great way to really kind of unite the state, but also give them their own voice to show, hey, we are part of America 250. Look, our name's right here on the logo.
So you mentioned logos, and I'm really interested if you have some examples of maybe some more rural communities, what they have decided to run with to do this America 250.
Yeah, so a lot of them have done some great things. One that I really wanted to point out, it wasn't specifically with the logo, but in Boulder Town, they had an artist locally create out of a large boulder.
Oh, wow.
They had handprints in all over the boulder. And we heard from the artist that it took around 250 hours to create the boulder. So that was a great way to engage. We've seen Park City, they're putting up banners on their main streets on the light poles. Heber did that as well. We've seen some of the small towns, they have museums, and so they're featuring these traveling exhibits that are going around. So there's just a lot of engagements from very small to very large with the Freedom Festival down in Provo. That's all over the place. So it's a great way to engage.
Nicole, this is obviously a national day, but what sort of leeway were you given to sort of tailor it to Utah, or did they give you a pretty much carte blanche? Because every state's going to celebrate this a little differently, I assume.
Yeah, that's one of the main takeaways is that each state is doing it completely different. We feel like Utah has really stepped up, and we've heard that from kind of regional partners as well, is that the municipalities, the communities within our state are making this part of the commemoration. They're making this a big deal, and we're really proud of the work we're doing because really we get to celebrate with Utahns and talk about how those individual stories, whether it's our community, whether it's our relationship with our neighbor, they're all part of this larger American story, and we're contributing to that, and we're really thrilled with just the adoption and how much people are stepping up to make it happen.
So here on Inside Sources, we've talked about a couple of things that are happening. One is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints that is sending out 250 semi-loads. They're going to all 50 states. They've hit all 50 states. I think that's great. It's going to go through the rest of this year. But the other one is Senator John Curtis, who's going to start walking on Friday to walk 250 miles in 9 days. He was on our show to tell us that he's going to be starting at like 3 o'clock in the morning to avoid the heat,
right, yes.
and hopes to end on July 4th by walking 1776 miles, right? So 17.76 miles to get into the stadium for the Freedom Festival, which is just really like, I don't want to walk 250 miles, but more power to him.
Well, that's our challenge for you, is that he's actually doing, one of our programs is called Walk 250.
Okay.
And we have been asking Utahns and challenging them to walk or roll. So you could do the rolling as well, 250 miles throughout this year. So we started last July. We have over 500 that have at least recorded it with us. We know there's more that are doing that. And so we're working on that. And then we were just thrilled that Senator Curtis was willing to do that and talking with his staff. And we're hoping to get him a certificate as well, because that's what, if you complete your 250 miles. Now, if you've started, I don't know that you can do it. I guess Senator Curtis is going to do it before that date.
I can drive 250 miles.
There you go. But we do have some prizes that we're giving out on July 3rd for just other ways to explore, take kind of weekend trips around the state as well for those that finish. So if you've been clocking your hours, make sure you get them in so that we can enter you for that
All right.
chance.
Can you guys stick around for one more segment?
Of course.
All
I'd
right.
love to.
We're going to chat more about how Utah is celebrating America 250 next.
Murphy's Law says that if your air conditioner is going to break down this summer, it's going to be when you least expect it and at the worst possible time. And for a lot of homeowners, the fear isn't just the breakdown. It's worrying about what happens next. Is this going to cost a fortune? Am I going to be pressured into replacing it? Can somebody just help me figure out what's wrong? At Any Hour Services, that's exactly what we're here for. Maybe your system just needs maintenance to help prevent breakdowns before they happen. Maybe a part failed, and a simple repair gets you back up and running quickly. Or maybe your system's getting older, repairs are adding up, and you think replacing it makes more sense. Whatever the situation, we'll walk you through your options, answer your questions, and make sure you have the information you need to make the decision that's right for your home and your budget. Maintenance, repair, or replacement, you choose what's right for you. That's how Any Hour Services works. Options, not pressure. Call Any Hour Services next time you need help with your air conditioner. Google Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
You trust us for news and information in your car. Now trust us at home. KSL News Radio has you covered, keeping you informed on the latest breaking news, weather, traffic, sports, and more. Listen on your Amazon Echo or Google Home device. Just say, Alexa, open KSL News Radio, or listen on the KSL News Radio Listen app. Text the word app to 57500. KSL News Radio. We have you covered.
The energy, the roar. Moments you'll always remember. Next season, Jaren Jackson Jr. is hunting blocks. Laurie Markkinen is getting buckets. And Ace is just getting started. Don't just watch Jazz basketball. Experience every moment. 2026-27 season tickets are on sale now. Full and half-season packages available. Plus exclusive benefits like arena discounts and player events. Are you in? Join the climb today. UtahJazz.com or call 801-355-DUNK.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know you can't cook. You're not one of those people who say that they can, but when people come over for dinner, they find out the hard way, you can't. You can't even microwave popcorn, and that's literally just one button. Plus, measuring and patience are huge parts of cooking, and that's just not you. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Pricing coverage match limited by state law.
Liberty Mutual customized this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
This is Derek Miller speaking on business. Small businesses help make Utah's communities vibrant by creating opportunities for connection and supporting local economies. One business doing just that is Santa Backyard Coffee, a mobile coffee cart serving customers at the downtown Salt Lake City Farmers Market. Owner Marissa Martinez joins us with more.
At Santa Backyard Coffee, we believe people thrive where there's genuine service and community. That belief is what inspired us to create our mobile coffee cart serving the downtown Salt Lake City Farmers Market. As we begin our second season at Pioneer Park, we're excited to continue serving handcrafted coffee, matcha, and chai every Saturday morning. We're more than just great drinks. We strive to create a welcoming experience built on friendly conversations, warm smiles, and meaningful connections. Community is at the heart of everything we do, and our incredible team is dedicated to making every customer feel at home. We're also proud to source our coffee, matcha, and chai from small local women-owned businesses because supporting Utah entrepreneurs matters deeply to us. We can't wait to see everyone at the Salt Lake City Downtown Farmers Market. Come share a cup and a conversation with us.
At Santa Backyard Coffee begins its second season at the downtown Salt Lake City Farmers Market. They're continuing their commitment to quality drinks, local partnerships, and community connection. Learn more at santabackyardcoffee.com. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
My name is Tom.
My name is Cindy.
We give to and volunteer with United Way at our community free health clinic.
We know our time and money are going to the right places.
We don't just wear the shirt.
We live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
An expanded Inside Sources. Inside Sources.
Well, let's continue our discussion of how Utahns are getting out to celebrate America's 250th birthday in just 10 days, Holly.
I know. And there's a lot of stuff happening over the next week and a half. We want to cover it all. We don't have time to cover it all, but we're going to try.
But we are speaking again with Nicole Handy and Chris Abbott, directors of America 250 Utah. Thanks for staying with us for a second segment.
Thank you.
So, Nicole, can you start by telling us some of the things that will happen even on that weekend of the 4th of July?
Yeah, we really are considering this a weekend of celebrating. So it starts on, well, even the week before. On June 27th, don't miss, it's the opening of the Museum of Utah, which is this kind of the state's gift to its people as part of this year. We're excited to be there and celebrate that. But then on July 3rd, that Friday, there'll be a concert at the Capitol with the Utah Symphony. We'll be giving away prizes, as we said before. And then really, we're on the 4th, we're hoping that people celebrate within their local communities, find out what they're planning. And then we're going to go even more local on July 5th and ask people to be part of, it's called America's Potluck. We're asking all Utahns, and it's even bigger than Utah, but here in Utah, we're asking everyone to share a meal with their neighbor that day. And we see that as a piece of unity, of bringing people together to celebrate the anniversary.
Chris, as you've been able to go to the local communities, especially when school was in session, have you been able to talk to the young people about just the significance of this? I mean, 250 years, some people are like, dinosaurs were roaming the earth. But, I mean, do the young people appreciate the moment?
They do. And, I think it's one of those things, it's a time in their life that they can reflect on the country that they live in and where they're growing up into. And I think really what a lot of the sentiments that they've expressed is what they want for the future. I mean, we think of that as adults, but some of this rising generation really is taking heart and is really proving to be the rising leadership based on just what they want for the country, what they want for their families as they grow. And so it's been really engaging with these students and kids of all ages. Even my son, he's all about America 250 now. We were just on a trip, and he was pointing out America 250 in Florida. So it's something that is aware, and it's bringing to light a lot of great conversations within the homes and within schools.
So Greg and I were both around and old enough to remember the bicentennial. I was 11, but I still have memories of that. So you're saying, here is we're in, let me see, it's the semi-quincentennial.
Got it.
That they're going to remember that for 50 years. So Nicole, can you tell us about maybe the Great American State Fair, and then we'll ask Chris about the block party.
Yeah, there's many national initiatives that are happening kind of back east, a few on the West Coast as well, but nationally, there is a Great American State Fair. Utah, of course, has stepped up and has a team out there. They're ready to represent Utah in amazing fashion. So if anyone happens to be in the area, we hope that they swing by and see. The question is, are you a Utah person? And it's all the great things that are happening around Utah.
Is that in the Capitol? Is that in Washington, D.C.?
It's on the National Mall,
Okay.
and each state has a pavilion.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and then I think they'll be having some concerts and other things
I
as
saw
well.
there was a Ferris wheel.
Oh, well, that would be
on
amazing.
the National Mall.
Are we missing the Ferris wheel? If I would have known, I would have made it out there. So, yeah,
I'll
there's
write it for
some
you.
great things going on, and then some things on the West Coast as well. I think they're doing a broadcast on the 4th, America's Block Party, and hoping that people will gather and then watch that entertainment as well.
All right, tell us about did you say potluck?
No,
Or the block
let's
party?
do the block party with
Okay,
Chris.
yeah.
Yeah, so the block party, essentially, we're just inviting everybody to participate in their 4th of July events. And so we've been working with nationally to provide them with a lot of events around the state of Utah. So they put that on their national calendar. And then we also have a great calendar of events on our website at america250.utah.gov/celebrate. You can go to that website and you can see all the events that are happening around the state of Utah, and you can toggle between counties. So if you're in Wayne County, you can go on to Wayne County's toggle and see what's going on. So there's a lot of different opportunities that are happening around.
Where is it found again?
It's called america250.utah.gov/celebrate.
And you can look up and you can see, hey, this is what's happening in my city this weekend or my county.
Correct. And this is all fed from these communities to us. So we didn't go out and kind of make
Right.
these things. This is what we're doing in our community. Please list it. And so we put those on our local calendar and also on the national calendar.
So Nicole, I did want to ask you about America's Potluck, and I think it's on the 5th, which is Sunday.
Yes, we're planning on asking. We would like everyone that can to plan a meal to come together with their community and their local or street, whether it's friends. We've said there's no wrong way to do it, but this feeds this need of coming together. We know that people want community. They want to know their neighbors. We don't see them as much. And so this is an opportunity to do that. We have a whole hosting kit on our website. It started here in Utah, but because we've been working with these other state commissions as well, we have all 50 states that have actually signed on to this, and
You
Puerto
started
Rico.
it.
But it started here in
You
Utah,
started
the idea,
this.
because of course this is a Utah thing, right? Of course we're about community. Of course we're about potlucks.
Food.
So we're setting that. So we have a lot of national partners as well, and we're just thrilled that so many people see this need and just a grassroots way to celebrate this and come together.
How does it work exactly?
That's
the potluck?
amazing.
What do you do?
You bring food.
I know that part.
This is,
My wife does.
it does. It feels sometimes really natural, but it can be, we have an invitation on our website, and I have yet to pass out the invitations. I've double checked with a few neighbors that they're actually in town, but I'm going to print off that invitation, and I'm going to invite people to come to my driveway, most likely. Some cities are waiving the fee to close down your street, but I'm going to ask them to come and bring some food, and then we'll spend the evening together.
Oh, you got to tell me how to do that. My neighbors will come.
They will come.
They will do it. If you build it, they will come. So you got to tell me how to hook that up.
Okay, well, good. We'll share. We've got a toolkit. You can use the.
All right.
We even have signs for you as well as icebreakers. So if you don't know your neighbors really well, you can pass those out and find ways to kind of ask those questions.
I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and the first Sunday of the month is typically a fast Sunday where we're fasting for a couple of meals. And I know that church leadership asked people to fast on July 5th specifically for religious liberty and to pray for that freedom around the world. How does this tie in with America's Potluck? Because it sounds like it might be really awesome.
Well, I think those two really can go hand in hand, and we've been working with interfaith groups throughout the state, and I know that those members of the church have been part of those conversations as well. And so we think there's really is an opportunity to fast, to focus on those things. And then I can't think of a better or almost more sacred way of breaking your fast than to do it with your neighbors and to make those connections. And so we hope people will treat it. It can be a linger longer. It can be a walk and talk.
Yeah.
We do those quite a bit, and we know those. And so I think there's a connection there that can be made.
I have a quick question for the two of you right as we get to the end. What are you doing on July 6th?
I am flying to Washington, D.C. for the Great American State Fair, so I'm going to carry on my festivities to the nation's capital.
And this might say a little bit about our dynamic. I will be at my parents' cabin in Bear Lake reading a stack of books for a few days.
What's this experience been for you? How has it been?
It has been life-changing. I mean, this has probably been one of the greatest moments of my life, not only because I'm going to remember this forever, but because I'm an American. I was born here, I was raised here, and it's important to me to celebrate and bring together people. And so it's been an honor working with these elected officials and their constituents all over the state. That has been paramount in my life.
And it seems like it's been very, very well received.
It has. It's been an easy sell.
Yeah, that's great. So we've only got less than a minute left. What's your next 10 days like?
Red, white, and blue. Lots of events, lots of prep, and just connecting with people.
That's awesome. Well, we really appreciate you joining us. And America250.utah.gov for anybody who wants to go find out on the website. And I see signs and logos everywhere. So really good job. You have inspired us all.
Yeah.
I think it's really great.
And you two will be around for the America 300. We probably
we will not.
We're already making plans.
There you go. Good for you.
Utah's Noon News is up next. Stay with us on KSL News Radio.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good afternoon. KSL News Time is 12 o'clock noon. Utah's Noon News starts now. I'm Maria Shilaos, KSL's top story. And it is developing news. Cottonwood Fire